The Matsu Miners are at the end of a very long homestand, and they've got arguably the most important matchup of the season with the first-place Anchorage Bucs. I'm Jesse Cook with Austin Barach. The Miners sit a half game out of first place. And doesn't it seem like every time that Matsu and Anchorage come to a head, it's always something momentous and it's always fireworks?
Yeah, Jesse, these games just feel more important. There just seems to be more juice when these two teams square off for whatever reason. We saw a high-scoring affair last time, back on June 30th in Anchorage at LKE Stadium. You can expect fireworks and intense moments here tonight back at the Brothers.
Well, it wasn't just an intense battle last time they played back on June 30th in Anchorage. It was the highest-scoring game in the entire A.B.L. this season. A total of 25 runs scored, 13-12. The Bucs won that battle. These two are tied in the season series, 3 games apiece. The Bucs have just an overpowering offense.
They absolutely. They have many guys who hit in that 290-plus average, most home runs, highest slugging percentage of anybody in the league. So it's going to be a tall task, but they are also a team that rides a 3-game losing streak into tonight's matchup. So it's really anybody's game.
That's true. The Bucs are riding a losing streak. They lost to those freaking Oilers, who finally had their run ended yesterday by the Glacier Pirates. But the Bucs have a lot of firepower. They lead the league in home runs, like you said, also RBIs. Now, someone who's been putting up big numbers for Matsu at the bat lately is Cooper Vest. The first baseman has reached base in 17 straight games. I guess that's fitting because that's the number he wears.
Yeah, I love that number, 17. It's a great number. Cooper Vest, I mean, in the 2-hole, he's just been fantastic. This guy loves to go to the gap. Several extra bases this season, 2 doubles last night. So when you need him, he comes through. And especially in a situation today, the lineup might be a little banged up, might be a little different than what we've normally seen. He'll play an even bigger role today.
That's right. A few guys dealing with injuries and are listed as day today. No official word on if they'll play yet today. And Emilio Barach, Maddox Haley, Stephen Lancia, all of them suffered minor injuries, so they're going to be kept on the down low for the moment. But we may see them tonight. We don't know. Someone we know we will see is Grant Richardson, the left-handed pitcher out of Grand Canyon University. And he's had a lot of up and down.
And Grant Richardson, he's a guy that everybody gravitates towards. As a starter so far this season in the A.B.L., he's yet to go more than 4 innings, but he's pretty reliable in the innings he does pitch. You think about a guy who just strikes out a lot of batters, nearly 30 batters struck out so far this season. He leads the team in strikeouts per 9 innings, nearly 14 Ks per 9 innings. So Grant Richardson, excited to see him back involved today.
Exactly. He doesn't just lead the minors in strikeouts. He leads the Alaska Baseball League. He's got 30 Ks. That's tough to beat. Now, the minors pitcher yesterday, Ace Whitehead, he dealt 7 strikeouts in that fire show from him where he held the Chinooks to just a few runs. Matsu won that game 10-6. Let's take a look back at what happened last night in the minors' win over the Fish.
Today marks the start of the home stretch of the regular season. Matsu's next 16 games will be played in 20 others field. Alongside Jesse Cook, I'm Austin Barrett. Nobody on, 2 outs, top of the first. It's 0-0. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike the 0-1. And
that's a balk.
Tincher didn't throw the pitch. Hannes is awarded home plate on the balk. Vergara gets to second base. It's 1-0 Miners in the bottom of the first. 2-1 pitch is clobbered in the left field. Vergara scores from third base as Lancia has himself an RBI single. Way to get out of that rut. It's 2-0 Matsu. Here we go. The 2-2 is whistled in the left field and down for a base hit. Callahan can't make the diving play. 2 more runs score. Thurston and Hannes get home, and Cooper Vest has a 2-run single. Look at this lead. It's 8-0, still in the bottom of the first inning. Matsu wearing their camo tops, white pants, and that one is slapped to second base. Thurston on the 1-hop, flips to second for 1 on a first. That's a double play. Tommy Rover grounds into his 4th double play of the year, but a run scores from third base in that process. It's 8-1 Matsu.
Here comes the 0-1. He swings and drives it to center field. Vergara on his horse looking over his shoulder in right center. He dives! Yes, he did! Alex Vergara made a leaping catch! That is the play of the year. It brings home a run for Chugiak on the sacrifice fly, but Alex Vergara just dialed up the number for SportsCenter and said, let me have the number 1 spot. He was parallel to the ground going backwards. The 0-1 is swung on and struck into deep left center field. That's a gapper. Down in front of the fence, it 2-hops the wall, picked up right at the foot of the wall, and 3 runs come around to score. Hello, ball game. It's 8-5, Matsu. A bases clearing double for Austin Young, and suddenly Herman Brothers Field is 3 runs more tense.
The 1-1. Swung on, roped in the left field, over the head of Hannes, the third baseman. Here comes 1 run, and that RBI single off the bat of Ty Beck has made it an 8-6 ball game. The 0-2. Swung on, clobbered in the left center field, tailing away from the center fielder, and in the gap. Callahan, the left fielder, can't make the play. Thurston rounds for home, and he's in. Cooper Vest with a second double of the day and his 3rd RBI. That's your insurance run. It's 9-6 Matsu in the bottom of the 8th. So here's Tommy Rover, the righty. Chops one to Thurston at second. Flips on to Barach at first. That's an out, and that's another. Tommy Rover grounds into his second 4-6-3 double play of the day. His 5th double play of the season. And the Miners have a wire-to-wire win here at Herman Brothers. They improve to 14-11 and sit just half a game back of first place with a clash with the league-leading Bucs back here tomorrow. What a win today.
Stop me if you've heard this before, but the Mat-Su Miners and the Anchorage Bucs are playing for a spot in first place in the Alaska Baseball League. The Bucs sit a half game ahead of the second-place Miners, and it's the third time these two teams have battled this season with the top spot up in the air. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. It's a beautiful Wednesday evening in the Mat-Su Valley, and the Miners are throwing their big lefty, Grant Richardson, on the hill. This is his first start since last week down on the peninsula. And in that game, Grant pitched 3 2/3 innings. Had a rough go. 5 runs, 3 of which were earned, 5 strikeouts, 6 hits as well. Well, let's get into the Mat-Su lineup. Batting first, Nolan Tucker at second base. At first base, batting second is Cooper Vest. In the 3 spot, it's Alex Vergara. In the cleanup position, it's catcher Steven Lancia. Then it's Maddox Haley batting 5th and Caden Carpenter batting 6th. And that's been your usual first 6 over the last week for Mat-Su. Then in left, it's Braden Rogers. Alec Thurston filling in at shortstop, his second game in a row he played last night. Went 1 for 1 with 3 walks.
Oh, yeah.
Even earned the team's Pickaxe Award, which is given to the player who the team votes as having the best game. Caleb Hannes rounds it out, batting in the 9th spot and playing third base. And then for those Anchorage Bucs, they're throwing out of Arizona State, Steven Hernandez on the hill. Leading off for them in left field is Miles Smith, followed by right fielder Alex Pendergrass. Lex Bodeker is batting third, and he's in center field. This season, Bodeker has struggled against the Miners while hitting against other teams relatively well. He's got a .321 average on the year, but the Miners have had his number. Then it's Zach Thomas, followed by Cade Lacey. Dante Turgeon is the designated hitter. Curtis A.B.L is back in the lineup against Mat-Su at second base. He was a staple of the lineup earlier on in the season when these two played, but he didn't enter the game last time until they needed him to pitch. When he last played the Miners, it was Tuesday, June 27th. These teams played last on June 30th. Logan Hokuff is at shortstop. He's the son of head coach Randy Hokuff. And then Dylan Maltby, the catcher, rounds it out. So there are your 2 lineups. Austin, is there anything that sticks out to you about those starting 9s?
The thing that stands out to me is that no Jackson Sorensen and no Joey Narrett in the starting lineup for the Anchorage Bucs. I know that Sorensen has struggled as of late, but overall for the season, he's still batting .333. He's batting .444 against this Mat-Su team. And then you look at a guy like Joey Narrett, who's been perhaps the hottest hitter in the A.B.L. over the last week. Overall for the season, he's batting .339. So I know he struggled against the Miners, but those 2 guys not being in the lineup do surprise me.
Well, Joey Narrett for a while held the top spot in the league as far as batting average, but you're right, he has struggled against Mat-Su. Just .167 is his batting average against the Miners. That's a 2 for 12 mark, so Ken Hokuff might have made the decision to pull him for this game, give him a rest. There are some familiar faces for Mat-Su that aren't being shown in this game. Emilio Barreras, everyday shortstop, is out of the lineup. He was dealing with some lower body soreness, and he's day-to-day. Landon Rogers has played the last 2 games, but he gets a rest. Braden Rogers is in left field, where Maddox Haley normally would be, but he's suffering a small injury as well, also day-to-day. That's another lower body one. That's, of course, the best language we could get to describe those injuries from head coach Ty LeBrun. Guys don't want to give too much away about their players, especially before a game. But Maddox Haley is in the lineup. He is at the DH spot, just not in the outfield. Grant Richardson is on the bump, and he hasn't had any injury problems, but the runs have started to rack up against him. He started the year with a pair of scoreless outings out in Anchorage, one against the Glacier Pilots and one against these Bucs. But since then, his ERA has ballooned up to .458 in 19 2/3 innings pitched on the season. Despite those first 2 strong starts, he's 0-2. However, his strikeout totals are insane, atop the league with 30.
Yeah, Richardson knows how to get punch-outs. Him and Ace Whitehead, who started yesterday for Mat-Su, the 2 best starting pitchers when it comes to strikeouts on this team.
Well, here we go. For the Bucs, it's Miles Smith batting from the left side, followed by Pendergrast and Bodeker. Richardson, also the southpaw, comes set on the hill. First pitch on the way, play ball. Called strike, blown away. Smith is a rising junior at UC Irvine. He stands all of 6'1", 205. Richardson deals the 0-1. Swing and a miss, high and in. The Bucs are in their road camo jerseys, black, white, and gold with a little bit of gray on top of white pants with a gold and black pinstripe on the side. The 0-2 misses high and in. Matt Sue is wearing the all-white jerseys with green and gold script lettering across the chest and the blocky green and gold number on the back and on the lower hip. Yellow hats with a green brim. Richardson's 1-2 forces a swing and miss. The league leader in Ks has another one to open up the ball game.
Quick work of Smith, did not mess around. That's the Grant Richardson that we know and we love.
Now batting right fielder number 6.
Absolutely. That brings up Alex Pendergrast. He bats from the right side. Richardson is out of Grand Canyon University. He's a rising sophomore. 6'3", 225. The pitch. Pendergrast watches one at the knees, just a little bit too low for a ball. Pendergrast is out of Dallas Baptist University. He's a rising senior. The 1-0. Swings and cuts it to the backstop. Foul ball. 1-1 count for Pendergrast. One away, bases empty. He's 5'10", 180 pounds. The 1-1. Swings and foul, tips into the mitt of catcher Steven Lancia. Pendergrast was he was also first team all-region for that team. He hit .421 for that team that reached the NJCAA Division II World Series. He was a great JUCO star, now in Division I. The 2-2 on a full count. That brings up Lex Bodeker, Florida. One of the longest distances to get to Alaska, although his home in Ohio is a little bit closer, just outside Columbus in a town called Lima. He's 6'1", 225. Lefty-lefty matchup, runner on first, one away. Richardson from the stretch. Fastball misses low for a ball. And suddenly, Richardson has missed on 3 straight pitches. Hands at the belt, he fires. Swings and fouls it off the front foot. Bodeker is a rising junior at Central Florida. He's in the 1-1. Swings and fouled off Lancia's shoulder pads behind the plate. A 1-2 count for Bodeker. He's been strong this season. He's got 2 dingers, a .321 batting average, 16 RBIs. That's one of the highest marks on the team. He's second in that total behind Jackson Sorensen, who was notably out of the lineup today. 1-2 count, runner on first, one away. Top of the first, 0-0 to score. The pitch, runner off for second. Check swing in the dirt, didn't go, and Lancia has to watch that roll back to the mound. So Pendergrast has a stolen base, and it's a 2-2 count for Bodeker. Has been tough to beat on the bases. That's his 7th steal in 9 attempts. Now he's in scoring position, and he's scored 13 runs this season. His teammates know how to bring him around. That's 4th on the Bucs roster. The 2-2. Bodeker swings and misses behind the fastball, and the rising sophomore stands 6'3", weighs 220 pounds. Pretty equal weight class and height to Grant Richardson, who's 6'3", 225. Lefty on the bump, righty at the dish. From the stretch. Misses inside for a ball. Thomas has been a problem for the Miners this season. He's batting .346 against Matt Sue in 6 games played. He ran out of room.
You mentioned that .346 number that Thomas has in his batting average against the Miners this season. That also includes 3 doubles and 6 RBIs.
He's a really strong hitter, and he's just had his way with Matt Sue this season. That's probably why he's the only member of the Bucs to play in every game against the Miners. The 1-1. Swings and fouls it over the right side. Zach Thomas has started in all 6 games he's played against Matsu. Those 6 RBIs you mentioned really loom large with a runner in scoring position. These two always have the fireworks. They've got 2 one-run finishes between them. The 1-2. Low for a ball. Last time these two played was on June 30th in Anchorage. It was the highest scoring game of the A.B.L. season, with the Bucs winning 13-12, 25 runs in one game. The last time they played in Anchorage before that, Matsu won 7-6. It's such a tight battle whenever these two meet up. They're tied in the season series, 3 games apiece. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Grant Richardson with 3 strikeouts. He K's him for the side. And the Bucs are left scoreless in the first inning, stranding a runner in scoring position in Alex Pendergrass. We move on to the bottom of the first and get our first look at the hometown bats with Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, and Alex Vergara due up for this 0-0 game. At times it can feel like these two teams know each other better than themselves, and Steven Hernandez is another example of that with his second appearance against Matsu, his second start. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. It's 0-0 in the bottom of the first inning. The Miners coming up with second baseman Nolan Tucker, who didn't lead off yesterday. He was actually not in the Miners lineup, and when he last played, he was the leadoff man. That was against the Oilers on Sunday. He's followed, but Hernandez has pitched against Matsu. The Arizona State product went 2 innings back on Tuesday, June 6th, over a month ago. The pitch, Tucker swings at the first one, patters it out to second base. A.B.L fields it on the hop and fires on to first for the out. 1 up, 1 down on 1 pitch, and that brings up Cooper Vest. He's had a hot bat of late. By of late, I mean over this entire season. He's reached base safely in 17 straight contests. He's got hits in 8 of the last 9 games. The BYU product has had a lot working for him of late. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Hernandez comes set. He fires from the stretch and bounces about 2 feet in front of home. Wow. That's a new one. Hernandez, he was a decent amount of weight on the hill. The rising sophomore stands 6'2", 210 pounds. Deals a 1-0. That one's over the plate and not after a hop. Fastball low and away for a strike. 1-1 count. Vest at the plate, stands on the left side at 6 feet tall, 190. He swings at that pitch, grounds it straight to short, fielded on the run. Hoka throw to first, picked by Zach Thomas for the out. Man in motion makes the play for Anchorage, and there's 2 up, 2 down on just 4 pitches in the first inning. But it brings up Alex Vergara, and he's had it working for him lately when he went 2 for 5 yesterday, and that came 2 days, rather a 2 RBI, 2 hit affair on Saturday. Pardon me, there's a lot of numbers involved with Vergara. He does a lot. First pitch to the righty is called in D1. He swings and misses at the 0-1, high and away on the backdoor curve. It's an 0-2 count. Vergara is a rising senior at Lipscomb. Stands at 6 feet tall, 195, a native to Texas. Hernandez, 0-2. Swing and a miss. That pitch was maybe 6 inches off the plate, so he fooled him well. And the Miners go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. We move on to the second frame of play from the Mat-Su Valley in just a moment. It's the top of the second inning from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. I'm Jesse Cook with Austin Barach. It's 0-0 in a game with exactly that many hits. The Bucs went down in 4 batters after a walk in the first inning with 3 strikeouts, and the Miners went down 1-2-3. Grant Richardson on the hill for Mat-Su. He threw just 20 pitches last inning. He's got Cade Lacey, Dante Turgeon, and Curtis A.B.L. Lacey bats from the right side. He's the third baseman. First pitch, the southpaw's fastball is high for a ball. Lacey is a rising sophomore at Phoenix College. He's native to Gilbert, Arizona, not too far away. The 1-0 misses up high. Gilbert, about a 20-minute journey from Phoenix. And he was a JUCO Region 1 champion with Phoenix in 2021 and 22. The 1-0 misses inside. Rather, that was the 2-0. It's a 3-0 count. Lacey is 6 feet tall, weighs 200 pounds. Bats and throws with the right hand. The 3-0, up high, ball 4. So a very quick walk for Cade Lacey, and that is the 4th time that he's recorded a bases on balls against the Miners. He's been one of the best players against Mat-Su this season with an 8-for-15 line at the plate and an on-base percentage of .579 against Mat-Su. That brings up Dante Turgeon, the designated hitter. He bats from the right side. Runner on, he goes to Chandler Gilbert College, where he's a rising junior. The 1-0. That's high for ball 2. He stands 6'3", weighs 190 pounds. This is not his first time playing in a wooden bat league, as it is for so many of the Division I players. Played in the NJCAA league for wood bats. The pitch. This is inside for a ball. That's such a tough adjustment for so many of these hitters. Most of them have made that change by this point in the season, but it's always good to get ahead. The 3-0. That's called a strike right down the middle.
That's good for Richardson. Avoided 8 consecutive walks to open up, 8 consecutive balls rather, to open up the inning.
8 consecutive walks would certainly be something else. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. It's a full count. Richardson powered through with the fastball, and now he's really back in the game. Through his first 5 batters, they've either been a walk or a strikeout, and those are the 2 most likely options here with a full count. Throws on over to first, but Lacey is back without a slide. Lead off the second inning. There's nobody out with runners on first and second for Anchorage. And that incites an infield meeting between Richardson, Lancia, and first baseman Cooper Vest.
Now batting, second baseman number 2, Curtis Hebert.
It's tough for a lot of these pitchers at this point in the season to rebound after getting out of whack, because by this point you've really found your rhythm, and when you get off beat, it's like derailing a train at times.
Your pitchers are very rhythmic. They care a lot about the mechanics and finding a groove, and right now Richardson has to get out of a jam.
Well, he has to do it against righty Curtis A.B.L. He's batting .313 on the season. First pitch, he squares to bunt, pops it up over the backstop, and just about into the press box. It landed maybe 2 inches above our window, Austin. That's the
closest a ball has come to hitting us this year.
I'm going to go and grab that between innings. Dibs, it's mine.
All right, all you.
I'm surprised that even got back here. Runners on first and second, nobody out. The 0-1 squares to bunt again, lays it down lower, but still foul. So it's unlikely that A.B.L. will lay down a bunt here, because with 2 strikes, if you bunt it, it would be unexpected though. A.B.L., it wouldn't be unexpected for him to strike out. He's done that 17 times this year. Richardson puts his hands at his belt. Pitches from the stretch. The 0-2, swing and a miss. 4th strikeout in as many outs total for Grant Richardson.
Now batting, shortstop number 17.
Every single out has been a swinging strikeout for Richardson.
Wow. And here's a guy who strikes out a lot.
That's right. Logan Hokuff is at the plate, batting from the right side. His team's out this season in many affairs. He's been slightly better than his average against the minors, so he has struck out against Matsu 9 times. The 0-1, he's behind the fastball, another strike, high and away. He's got a .214 average against Matsu, which is actually better than his .096 season average.
Whoa.
That's one. At 353. The 0-2 misses up high and away, walking for the first 2.
Yeah, he was hit by a pitch last time these 2 teams played on June 30th.
That's right. He struck out 3 times in that game.
Yeah.
Richardson has retired 4 by way of the K. The 1-2 in the dirt. Hokuff is the son of head coach Ken Hokuff. He is a rising freshman at Allegheny Junior College of Maryland, and he's a native to Corona, California, so he's done a lot of traveling this year. Brings up the 9-hitter,
Now
Dylan
batting,
Maltby.
number 10, Dylan Maltby.
Maltby is another Phoenix College student, but he's a native to Anchorage, Alaska. He's a rising junior at Phoenix College, and he was a part of the Alaska State Champion team with South Anchorage Chi, along with so many of his teammates here. 11, weighs 195 pounds. Last time he played Matsu, he went 0 for 4, but he did have an RBI on a walk. The 0-1 misses up high for a ball. That was back on June 30th. It's a 1-1 count for Maltby. Runners on first and second, 2 away. Nothing to score in the top of the second inning. Richardson, the lefty, dealing to the righty, comes set. He fires. Swing and a miss. Grant Richardson just has unhittable stuff through the first 1 2/3 innings. Now he's got Dylan Maltby backed up in a 1-2 count. Are we about to see a 6th strikeout?
I hope so. That'd be so fitting right now.
It's the second inning. You can only get 6 outs by this point. Richardson deals. Oh, yes! Strike 3 for the 6th time in just 2 innings. This is prime Grant Richardson, and you're seeing it live. Nothing the score as we move on to the bottom of the second. The Bucs strand runners on first and second, but they'll have the top of the order in the third. As for Matsu, it's the heart of the lineup. 4, 5, and 6. Stephen Lancia, Maddox Haley, and Caden Carpenter due up. Welcome back. It's the bottom of the second inning of a 0-0 ball game between the second-place Miners and the first-place Bucs. Matsu is at the bat with Austin Barach on Jesse Cook. Steven Hernandez is on the hill for his second inning of work, and the lefty has to deal with catcher Steven Lancia, DH Maddox Haley, and right fielder Caden Carpenter. First pitch to the righty, Lancia. That's low away for a ball. Lancia comes to Matsu out of the College of UT Rio Grande Valley. He's a returning Matsu Miner, played for the team in 2022. The pitch misses inside. Curveball danced too low. It's a 2-0 count for Lancia. This season, he's batting .400. That's third in the Alaska Baseball League. The 2-0. Swings, drives it to right field. Right at Alex Pendergrass down the line. That took me into the corner, and it's down. Lancia is aboard with extra bases. He rounds second, but he holds up there. Pendergrass throw to the infield gets by the second baseman, A.B.L, but Hokuf backs him up. Steven Lancia has the first hit of the game for either side with an opposite field double that hugged the foul line.
Yeah, that thing was tailing right from the get-go off the bat of Lancia. I mean, you talk about Pendergrass. That wasn't even close when it landed because that thing just kept going away from the right fielder. He could not make a play. Beautiful hit out of Lancia.
Well, Matsu has its first man on base, and he's in scoring position for Maddox Haley. He bats from the right side. The San Diego State rising sophomore is batting .271 this season. The pitch. Curveball inside and low for a ball. We've seen it on full display this season. Maddox Haley has had his way with right-handed pitchers who throw high and inside curveballs, but against lefties, he's sort of struggled. Doesn't have a single extra base hit against a left-handed arm this season. The 1-0. Fastball low and inside for a strike. Lancia has gotten on base this year at a .357 clip. He's walked 10 times. He's got 23 hits, all of that coming in 98 plate appearances. And before yesterday, he had not recorded a single hit by pitch, but then 2 pitches struck him on his side during the affair. The 1-1. Hefty swing and miss. The front door curveball had him fooled, and Haley immediately gestured to his dugout in front of his eyes, saying he completely misread that. But it does take a really smart hitter to know what you did wrong during the swing. Yesterday, Haley went 1 for 3 with those 2 hit by pitches against the Chinooks. The Miners won 10-6. The 1-2. In the dirt, skips away from catcher Maltby. It gets to the third base side. Lancia takes third. He rounds. He'll score! 2 bases, 1 wild pitch, and the Miners lead 1-0 over the Bucs in the bottom of the second inning with nobody out in this battle for first place.
Hey, Bucs, you might want to go run and pick up that ball and field it, throw home. That was unbelievable. I mean, both the catcher and the third baseman just stood there and watched it. Wow.
Well, Maltby wasn't watching. He didn't know where it was. It hit his left knee pad and popped up down the third base side all the way to his team's dugout. They were screaming at him with nobody out, but his team has a 1-0 lead. Hernandez comes set. He fires. Misses up high. That makes it a full count for Haley. The right-handed batter this season has walked 10 times. He's struck out, however, 15. The 3-2. He swings, rips it to short. 1 hop in front of Hokuf. He fields it on the outfield grass. Throw off his back foot to first is offline. Maddox Haley has an infield hit, but immediately he's in a little bit of pain, shaken up beyond first. He started skipping after the bag, and he's really favoring that left leg.
Yeah, we knew coming into today he was a little banged up in the lower body. So we'll see what happens here as the athletic trainer checks on Maddox.
Well, we talked to head coach Ty LeBrun before the game about 6 hours ago as he walks out to first to talk to Haley with the team trainer. And he said that Barreras was banged up, Haley was too, and so was catcher Steven Lancia. The catcher, Lancia, he looks no worse for wear. He was showing off the wheels around the bases and flew into the dugout. Barreras not playing today. He might be out for a couple days, although he's not officially off the roster for any period of time. Haley is hobbling His right ankle appears to be in. Head coach Tyler Brunn told us that we might see Braden Rogers out in left field in his place like we do. We might see Landon Rogers hit for him. We might see Sebastian Tomerlin in the outfield. And that does it for Haley. He's done. Landon Rogers will replace him on the bases. It's not a defensive change at all. Haley was a DH, so an uncomfortable sight for Mat-Su fans as the San Diego State player walks off the field with some help from the trainer and pitching coach Steve Hecker. So Landon Rogers is aboard in his place. Caden Carpenter is up at the bat. He hits from the left side. Rogers, he's got a pair of stolen bases this season. Caden Carpenter has been one to swipe a few bags as well. He's got 4, but he's at home plate. Lefty-lefty matchup, first pitch. In the dirt, skips away from Maltby. Rogers has his first action as he cruises into second on the second wild pitch of the frame. 1-0 is the count for Carpenter, now with a man in scoring position. Rogers this season has scored just 4 runs in the 13, now 14 games he's played. Carpenter has a .270. 1-0 Miners the score in the bottom of the second with nobody out and a runner on second base. The 2-0. Two-seamer just below the knees. Caden Carpenter, who is the league leader in walks, has a 3-0 count.
Carpenter has such a good eye. I mean, this guy drew 2 walks yesterday. He's been doing it all season, 7 multi-walk games so far for him.
He's got 23 bases on balls. And that 3-0 misses low, make it 24 walks for Caden Carpenter. That on-base percentage opening up today's game sat at .461. That's unreal, especially when you consider that his batting average is .270. So almost double the amount of time he gets a hit, he records a walk.
Incredible.
That's so clutch and very reliable. Braden Rogers comes up to the plate. The righty plays in left field today. This is his 18th start of the season. He's batting .231. The first pitch misses way up high on the curve. Rogers, one of that Mat-Su trio from the community college at Central Arizona. It's him, Sebastian Tomerlin, and Mario Bejarano. Bejarano has come out of the bullpen plenty of times this season, and Tomerlin has seen his fair share of defensive substitutions. He usually replaces Haley in the outfield late in games that Mat-Su leads. The 1-0. Rogers watches another curveball, this one blown away for another ball. That's 6 straight balls dealt by Steven Hernandez. All of them coming after the Maddox-Haley injury.
Yeah.
Runners on first and second, nobody out, 1-0 Miners. The 2-0. Front door curve, that's a strike.
While we have a slight break in the action, the United States men's soccer team has lost to Panama in the semifinals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup in the 6th round of penalty shootouts. So unfortunate stuff there for the USA.
Yeah, that's tough. Such a talented roster. 2-1 to Rogers. He waits on a fastball high and away for ball 3. I mean, we're from New England where the Revolution plays, so we've seen Matt Turner play time and time again between the pipes, and he's had such a good tournament run for the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
The 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4. Steven Hernandez has loaded the bases for Alex Thurston with nobody out in the bottom of the second. That incites a mound visit. Ken Hokiff walking out to the hill. There is some action in the Anchorage bullpen. We'll update you as soon as we can on who that arm is warming up. But we might get an answer sooner than you think. Usually the head coach doesn't talk to the pitcher. It's normally the pitching coach. Hokiff is taking his time on the hill talking to Hernandez. So it's tough to tell if he will pull him.
Yeah. So while that situation is going on, it honestly feels slightly reminiscent to yesterday's first inning. With the lack of strikes being thrown. But right now, Haley left the game with that injury. We already know Barach isn't playing today. Farlander is not with the team right now. He's been sick. So right now, I think the only player off the bench is Sebastian Tomlin to potentially bat. Maybe Mario Bejarano.
Maybe. He has played 2
6,
games as a batter. Hernandez stays in the game. Alex Thurston comes up to the dish. He played yesterday. The pitch to the righty out of Valparaiso. He watches a strike blown away. He's got the bases loaded with nobody out. Yesterday, he earned the pickaxe, which is given to the player who has the best performance on the minors, as voted on by the team. He had 1 hit and 1 at-bat and recorded 3 walks. The 0-1. This is up high for a ball. And you come up to the plate 4 times and you reach base all 4 times. That's a pretty good day, especially when you add in the fact that he scored 2 runs and had an RBI. That RBI came in that huge first inning where Matsu scored 8 runs on 4 hits off of Noah Tincher, who had an unfortunate game for the Chinooks. That pitch comes in low and away for strike 2. A 1-2 count for Thurston. The rising senior out of Valparaiso is teammates during the college season with the man on deck, Caleb Hannes, and the batter in the hole, leadoff man, Nolan Tucker. This is only the 2nd time this season that in a regular season game we've seen all 3 of them play on the same infield. The 1-2. He swings, drives it to straightaway center field. That's shallow. In between the second baseman, center fielder, it's down. Rogers scores from second. Carpenter holds up at third. Matsu keeps the bases loaded with everyone moving station to station. And the Miners lead 2-0 thanks to an Alex Thurston bloop single. He spent a while away from the lineup. And when he came back yesterday, something clearly flipped a switch for Alex Thurston. That's 5 straight times he's come up to the plate, and 5 straight times he's reached base. His 2nd RBI. First of the day. Here's Caleb Hannes, the 9-hitter, bats from the right side. The first pitch. This is high and away. It's only the 2nd time we've seen Thurston play shortstop for Matsu. He spent a lot of time at 2nd and 3rd. Hannes has been the everyday 3rd baseman, and Nolan Tucker behind him, the everyday 2nd baseman. The 1-0. In the dirt, Maltby keeps control of it as it wandered off to his side, off to the left. Bases remain loaded, no action there. 2-0 the Miners lead with nobody out in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the top of the order on deck. Caleb Hannes has been just about as reliable as they come. He has a .255 batting average, but he's got hits in 6 of the last 7 games. That pitch forces a swing and miss on the backdoor curve. A 2-1 count for the Matsu corner infielder. Hannes stands 5'11", weighs 185 pounds, out of West Terre Haute, Indiana. The 2-1 pitch, he swings and drills it into left field. 1 run scores in Carpenter. Another run comes around in Braden Rogers. A 2-run single for Caleb Hannes, and the Miners lead 4-0 with runners on 1st and 2nd and the top of the order due up.
Now batting your 2nd baseman, number 3, Nolan Tucker.
How about that? If you're the Valparaiso head coach, you're smiling watching this game because Alex Thurston and Caleb Hannes just drove in 3 runs between them, and now Nolan Tucker has an opportunity to add on. Still nobody out. The pitch, the lefty is low for a ball. Tucker swung at the first pitch he saw to lead off the bottom of the 1st. He grounded out to 2nd base. Hernandez settles on the bump. The lefty deals. Squares to bunt, but pulls back again as that's low. This 2nd inning has been a rocky one for Hernandez. He's allowed 4 hits, walked 2 batters, and recorded 0 outs. The 2-0. Waits on a fastball at the belt for a strike. Alex Thurston is the runner on 2nd. Caleb Hannes stands off of 1st base, and Nolan Tucker is at the plate. The corners are playing slightly in for Anchorage. The middle infielder is back on the outfield grass. Hernandez, the 2-1. Tucker squares to bunt, but pulls back again. The curveball missed up high. Why not do that every time? Every time in this at-bat that Nolan Tucker has squared to bunt, Hernandez has panicked and thrown it out of the zone. It's a 3-1 count.
Yeah, and already in Hernandez had an issue with walks this inning, 2 of them already, and when he's throwing strikes, the hitters have hit him.
And Nolan Tucker, he's reached on 12 walks this year. The 3-1. Why would you even stay in the box for that? That pitch skipped up dirt off the back inch of home plate. The bases are loaded for Matsu in power-hitting Cooper Vest. He already has a home run this season, and his RBI numbers have really just jumped up lately. He's got 14 RBIs. Not even 2 weeks ago, he sat with only 3. Bases loaded for the lefty out of BYU. He was first-team All-WCC this past season. He swings a strong bat. The pitch. Waits on a fastball right down the middle at the belt for strike 1. Vest is batting .253 this season with a .315 on-base percentage. He's second on the minors in RBIs with that 14 figure. The 0-1. Another fastball low and away for a strike. Yesterday, Vest had arguably one of his best performances of this season. He went 2 for 5 against the Chinooks in that 10-6 minors win. Had 3 RBIs and a run scored. The 0-2. Clobbers the curveball down the right field line, but way foul. Saw a pitch he liked and jumped a little bit too early. That's a lucky one for Hernandez, because that wasn't really a curveball so much as a hanger.
Yeah, you got to watch out when you're throwing a Cooper Vest. When he's on, he's on.
He's been on against the Bucs. The pitch swings, loops into shallow center field. That's down for a hit right in front of Boddicker. 1 run scores in first, and everybody else holds. The throw home is offline, but Maltby collects it with 2 other players covering the plate. So Cooper Vest has his 4th RBI in 2 days, and the Miners lead 5-0 with nobody out in the bottom of the second, and the bases still loaded. That brings up the 9th batter of the inning in Alex Vergara. However, he will have to wait because Steven Hernandez's evening is finished. While he will be responsible for all 3 runners on base, it will be up to a different Anchorage Buck to relieve him. We'll update you on the new pitcher as soon as we get a good look at him. But for now, we're going to take a break. The Miners have blasted off in the second inning to a 5-0 lead with nobody out and the bases loaded. We're back. The Miners lead 5-0 in the bottom of the second with nobody out and the bases loaded. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Alex Vergara is the 9th batter of the inning, and he's at the plate. The new arm for Anchorage is David Lejevich. Here's number 21, throws from the right side. He's a rising sophomore at Long Beach State. His first pitch to Vergara is in the dirt for a ball. Here leaves Steven Hernandez after just an inning pitched in which he allowed 5 hits, 3 walks, and thus far 5 runs, but Hernandez is responsible for all 3 base runners. The 1-0, Vergara swings and cuts it to deep right center field. Looking up, that ball is off the foot of the fence. No, it's gone! Alex Vergara with a big grand slam, and the Miners just cannot stop. 9-0, 9 runs, 1 inning.
An opposite field grand slam. Are you kidding me? Alex Vergara, take a bow. Wow.
Every Miners player has scored, not just in this game, in this inning. There are no outs. This might as well be a fresh frame. Steven Lancia led off this inning with a double down the right field line. Lejevich deals his first pitch to Lancia, and that's understandably wide. Anyone would be shaken up after allowing a home run, a grand slam, moreover, on the second pitch he threw. The 1-0. Lancia watches a curveball dance into the zone for a strike. Head coach Tyler Brunn told his team that they needed to go out and get the Bucs in this game. How do you think that's going, Austin?
Bad. Or wait.
Oh, well, it's well, the 1-1.
I can't think right now. I'm all over the place.
How could you not be? The Miners are all over the field. 2-1 the count for Lancia. Lejevich into the windup. He fires. Misses up high for a ball. In case you were wondering, Lejevich entered this game with a .263 earned run average, although that has just gone up with his only run being Alex Vergara. Steven Hernandez, his line is done. 8 earned runs for him. The 3-1 to Lancia. He swings and rips it into left center field. That's a gapper. That's down on a hop. Lancia rounds first. He stumbles there and will hold. 2 hits, 1 inning for Steven Lancia. What a game he's having. What a game for Matsu. That brings up Landon Rogers.
Your designated hitter, number 37.
The Miners have learned a valuable lesson over the last day, that they need to play every second of every game. They almost blew an 8-run lead to the Chinooks yesterday, so this game is by no means over, but Matsu would like to continue putting it further into the bag. First pitch to Landon Rogers. He watches a cut fastball inside for a strike. This is Rogers' first at-bat. If you can remember it, a long time ago, earlier in this inning, he replaced Maddox Haley on the bases. The 0-1. Check swing, fastball high and inside is a ball. Yeah, Haley left with a leg injury. Looked like his right ankle. Rogers replaced him. He would later score in the inning, as would everyone. The 1-1. Front door curveball falls for a strike. It's a 1-2 count. Runner on first, nobody out, 9-0 Miners. Comes set. Fires from the stretch. Curveball swung on, blasted to second. A.B.L fields it, tossed to the back for one. He dropped it, but Lancia is out because he ran out of the baseline trying to avoid the throw. So a fielder's choice puts Landon Rogers on board. However, if Logan Hokuff had been more blatant about dropping the ball, Lancia might have gone for the bag. That is the first out of the inning. It took 11 batters for Anchorage to record an out. Caden Carpenter's up. He walked last time, up for his 24th of the year. The pitch to the lefty is blown away for a ball. Lejevich stares at home. There is no action in the Anchorage bullpen. What can you even say at this point? The 1-0. Low and inside for a ball. By the way, in all of this, we're forgetting that Grant Richardson has thrown 2 innings and struck out 6 without allowing a hit. The lefty is known for being locked in during games. It's kind of hard to stay warm. The 2-1 is swung on. Struck out to second. A.B.L fields it, throws onto the base for 1. Throw over to first is not in time. That's the second out of the inning. And Matsu is bringing up its 13th batter, which ties the record for the season. Matsu has put through 13 batters at the plate just once this year, and it was against the Anchorage Glacier Pilot. 9 runs in 1 inning is the record for Matsu this year. It was previously 7. Throw over to first. Carpenter doesn't even slide. He's back with a step. Lejevich this season has recorded 11 strikeouts. He's pitched a total of 13 2/3 innings. That's up to 14 1/3 now. The 1-0 swings and pops it up behind the plate off to the first base side. Maltby in pursuit looking over the backstop, and that ball is foul. The count stands at 1-1 for Braden Rogers. This inning started off with a Steven Lancia double. He scored on one wild pitch from second base. It skipped off Maltby's pads, and he couldn't find it. Haley boarded on an infield hit. Rogers replaced him. Landon, that is. Caden Carpenter walked. Braden Rogers walked. That loaded the bases for the first time. The 1-1 is low for a ball to Braden Rogers. Alex Thurston then singled home a run. Caleb Hanna is followed up with a 2-run base knock. Nolan Tucker walked to load the bases again. Cooper Vest singled home a run, and that incited the pitching change. The 2-1 misses low and away. Then Alex Vergara took the second pitch that Lejevich threw over the right field wall for a grand slam, the first of the year for Matsu. Lancia followed up with a single, but then he was caught on the bases. The 3-1. Rogers swings, pops it up behind second base. Infield grass, the ball floats in towards first, and there Zach Thomas makes the grab. So if you haven't fallen asleep, this inning is actually over. The fireworks started off the frame, and it was a long one. Make sure you get your 8 hours, because that inning lasted a while. We move on to the third. 9-0 Matsu, if you can believe it. Yes, this baseball game is still going. No, your eyes do not deceive you, neither do your ears. The Matsu Miners lead 9-0, entering the top of the third. It was 0-0 at the end of the top of the second. That's because Grant Richardson has been so dynamic on the hill. He's got 6 strikeouts, no hits allowed. Here's the top of the order in Miles Smith. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch misses high and inside. It's Smith, Pendergrass, Bodeker, the 1-2-3 batters for this Anchorage order, and they've got a very steep mountain to climb. The 1-0. Called strike, high and away on the fastball. Smith struck out swinging his first time up, and that's been the fate of 6 different batters in this Anchorage order. The 1-1. Swings and misses at a high fastball above the belt to 1-2 count. Richardson has either walked or struck out every batter, and the strikeouts have all been swinging. The walks, however, have been very different. The 1-2. Called strike 3 inside. What can you even do if you're an Anchorage Buck but watch and admire the machine that is this Matsu order today?
Right fielder number 6, Alex Pendergrass.
Grant Richardson has been nothing short of elite so far. A K machine.
Well, that machine has a new objective in Alex Pendergrass. He walked him last time up. First pitch to the righty. Misses up high and inside. And the walks have been different. Pendergrass came on a full count, as did Dante Turgeon's, but Cade Lacey walked on a 4-pitch showing. That pitch swung on, popped up behind first base in foul ground. Cooper Vest chasing after it, and he makes a backtracking one-handed grab. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the 3rd inning.
Now batting center fielder number 9, Lex Bodeker.
That brings up Lex Bodeker. He bats from the left side. He struck out on 5 pitches last time up. Richardson and Bodeker has been a solid battle. The pitch misses up high and inside. Today it took 5 pitches, but these two have played each other twice this season. The 1-0. That's high for a ball. And the results have either been a walk or a strikeout between these two. Richardson has struck out Bodeker twice, and he's walked him twice. The 2-0. Fastball right down the middle. The Grand Canyon lefty settles on the hill. Into the windup, the 2-1. Swung on and lifted foul off to the left side. Assistant coach Kyle Watson told us about Richardson that he's a goofy guy, except during games in which he pitches. He is all business. Every other game, he'll sing the national anthem on the baseline, much to the chagrin of his teammates.
That's the exact word I would use.
The 2-2 swings and fouls it over the backstop, stays alive. But on game days, when it's his turn to pitch, none of that. He's locked in. Oh, yeah.
We're in sync right here.
We're locked in. He's locked in. I think if I tried the door in our broadcast booth, we also might be literally locked in, so who knows. 2-2, 2 away, bases empty. The pitch in the dirt. Richardson, we know how good he's been as far as strikeouts. 37 this season, including today. Walks, however, have ramped up today. He's usually been good about that. Only 13 bases on balls this season, but 3 of them through the first 2 2/3 thus far. The full count pitch. Swing and a miss. High and inside cheese, and Grant Richardson makes it Swiss because that was a hole. Anchorage has yet to record a hit. Matsu is up 9-0. Could this be a better day to be a Matsu Miners fan through the first 2.5? The answer, probably not. 8-9-1 due up for the M's, and Thurston, Hannes, and Tucker, the Valparaiso boys, will carry us through the bottom of the 3rd. Did you miss us? We're back. Bottom of the 3rd inning. 9-0 the Miners lead after a laughable 2nd inning where every single member of the Miners lineup scored. Everyone reached base. Everyone recorded a run. Alex Thurston was responsible for scoring a run and driving another one in. He leads off this frame. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Still David Lejevich on the hill for Anchorage. It's the 8-9-1 batters and the Valparaiso 3 for Matsu and Thurston, Hannes, and Tucker. Ready matchup. First pitch. He watches a fastball at the belt for a strike. Alex Thurston is having a run of his own, 5 straight times reaching base over his last 2 games. Here's the 0-1. Called a strike, blown away. Another fastball from Lejevich kisses the lower outside corner. 0-2 count. This is the third time that the Miners have seen Lejevich this season. He's gone a total of 5 innings, including today. The 0-2 swings and fouls off to the right side, out of play. Lejevich has a .225 earned run average against Matsu, although that's sure to jump up because Alex Vergara scored on that home run. A grand slam, mind you. Only 1 run credited to Lejevich. The pitch. He swings and tails a curveball off to the right side, foul. The first 8 runs for Matsu, all responsible to Steven Hernandez. He had a great first inning, retired the top 3 players in the Matsu lineup in order, and then everything fell apart for him. The 0-2, front door curveball falls in for a strike. And Lejevich has 5 straight strikes to begin the inning, and that last one incites a strikeout to Alex Thurston.
Number 7, Caleb Hannas.
Caleb Hanna's at the dish. He had a 2-run single last time up. He also scored a run. What a rocky beginning for Steven Hernandez, and that's back-to-back days that Matsu has faced shaky starters who allowed 8 runs. The pitch. Curveball misses inside and clips Hanna's on the shoulder. He's aboard with a hit by pitch. That is the 3rd time this season that Caleb Hannas has reached an HBP, and it brings up the top of the order in Nolan Tucker. Tucker bats from the left side. He's got a runner on first with 1 away. Lejevich comes set. Looks over at first. He fires. Misses low and inside for a ball. Nine to nothing, Matsu in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The 1-0. This is inside. Makes it a 2-0 count for Tucker. Hanna's on first, 1 away. The pitch. Swings, bounced it to the first base side, just right of the line. Zach Thomas was on that ball with some speed. Hopped up almost over his head. He jumped for it and made the grab and foul ground. He might have had a shot at a double play if the ball was fair. He had a quick turn over to second, but luckily for Matsu, that's not the case. 2-1. Tucker swings and spins it foul off to his own dugout on the right side. Two and 2 count for Tucker. Runner on first. Lejevich comes set, pitching from the stretch. He fires. Backdoor curveball misses high and away. Full count for Tucker. He's had a productive career at Valparaiso. His freshman season, he was Collegiate Baseball Newspaper All-American as a freshman. The 3-2 swings and cuts it foul. Now, rather, he was all-freshman first team All-American. Either way, that's a pretty great accolade. He's also a good student. He was all Missouri Valley Conference Scholar Athlete first team. The 3-2 swings, dribbles it to second. A.B.L charges on it on the infield dirt, fires on to first. He got him, but Caleb Hannas is into second base. So 2 away. Matsu has a runner in scoring position for Cooper Vest. Up 9-0.
Yeah.
Now batting your first baseman.
So, yeah, that was an out, but overall it's a 9-0 game. Again, very similar to yesterday. 8 runs in the first today, 9 runs in the second. Don't let this game slip away, though. We talked to Tyler Brunn after the game. He told you, Jesse, I thought our energy was bad innings 2 through 7, so don't get complacent if you're Matsu. Just keep building onto this lead.
That's right. He used the word complacent in a team meeting to talk to his players about that. That first pitch to Vest is low and inside. told them that's what happened. They got complacent. They picked up the energy again in that 8th inning, scored a couple of runs to elevate the lead from 8-6 to 10-6. Ended up not needing those to begin with. But maybe that was more of a moral punch.
Control what you can control is what LeBron said.
That's been his motto all season. The 1-0. Vest swings and misses at a curveball inside. I think he initially used that to tell players to act on their best behavior and get to the ballpark on time, but it applies to in-game substance as well.
Yeah, pick guys up if they move a runner over, so Tucker just moved Hannah's over. That's an example right there.
The 1-1. Fastball at the belt for a strike. He asked his team, when you're watching a major league game, if somebody even moves a guy over, do you ever see the entire bench sitting down? If you see a guy score, does no one greet him?
Unless it's the silent game or whatever, they're trying to mess with a rookie or something, then no.
Not the silent treatment. 1-2 to Vest. He swings and misses at a curveball inside in the dirt. Skips away from Maltby. He picks it up and fires to first and got him. So Anchorage looks like its same old first place self after that disastrous second inning. They rebound in the third. We move on to the fourth. The Bucs have the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up in Zach Thomas, Cade Lacey, Dante Turgeon. And if the 9-0 story wasn't headline enough with the second team ahead, Grant Richardson has struck out 8 batters and is not allowed a hit. We're not going to say what that means, but it's that time of the game.
The party rolls on here at Herman Brothers Field in the Matsu Valley with Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. It's 9-0 Miners entering the 4th inning. Zach Thomas, Cade Lacey, and Dante Turgeon, 4, 5, and 6 due up against a red-hot southpaw in Grant Richardson. He has struck out 8 batters through his first 3 innings of work. First pitch of Thomas is fouled straight to the backstop for strike 1. Thomas was one of Grant's 8 strikeout victims back in the first inning. Richardson stretches out to his cleats, now resets out of the windup. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2 down the middle.
Grant has just had his best stuff. His fastball is getting ahead of hitters up high, and his breaking stuff is finding the back door.
Always ahead in counts. The 0-2. Cut on and missed. Richardson makes quick work of Thomas again and earns his 9th punch-out of the game. It's still just the 4th inning.
That's right. If you're thinking about this in Kerry Wood terms, or Randy Johnson terms, a 20 strikeout game, Richardson has struck out 9 batters in 10 outs.
Unbelievable. So here is Lacey. He takes a strike that's painted on the outside corner. Lacey actually walked back in the second inning. He led off with a walk. The 0-1. Lifted up and out of play. It's quickly 0-2. Richardson is just not messing around, just strike after strike.
And it's impressive that he stayed warm in that long offensive showing for his side in the bottom of the second inning. He didn't get cold.
He had 6 strikeouts in 2 innings against the Bucs on 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on for Cade Lacey. 9-0 Miners, top of the 4th. The pitch dips low. It's 2-2. Richardson tried a breaking ball there. And the count's evened up. The 2-2. In the dirt. Ball 3, it's a full count.
Well, that's been the issue for Grant in this game. When he's not striking batters out, he's walking them. It's become less of an issue over the last inning and a half because all his walks, all 3 of them, came in the first 2. Last inning was a 1-2-3 frame.
The payoff. Swung on and hit in a shallow left center field. Vergara makes a diving catch. 2 days, 2 diving catches for the center fielder for Matsu. And the no-hitter remains alive. 2 outs in the 4th inning.
You had to say it.
Yeah, I did.
But, Mark Burley had Dwayne Wise in his perfect game, who robbed a home run to keep it alive. At Grant Richardson, it's still only the 4th inning, but he's got Alex Vergara.
So if Turgeon gets a hit right here in this at-bat, I will profusely apologize to Grant after the game. First pitch to Turgeon, breaks low for a ball. Turgeon also worked a walk back in the 2nd. So Richardson has issued 3 walks, has struck out 9, and got Pendergrass to pop out in the 3rd. The 0-1 drifts away. It's 2-0. I mean, Vergara that time, he went in instead of out and used the backhand instead of the forehand, if you will, yesterday. So showing off the versatility out there in center field. Richardson's 2-0 offering is cut on and missed. Big hack low, and it's 2-1. Turgeon began the day batting .273. The 2-1 just outside ball 3.
I think if he loses a perfect game right here loses a no-hitter right here after you said no-hitter, we should have to get video of you apologizing. On your hands and knees.
The 3-1 is roped foul along the first base line. I would also like to bring up, however, you did allude to it at the bottom, at the end of the 3rd. You're like, do what you want with that information.
But I never said it. You can't say it. It's like stepping on the foul line.
Well, that's something I never do. Nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the 4th. Matsu up 9-0 over the Anchorage Bucs in a battle for first place. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Grant Richardson continues going strong. That's his 10th K of the day. He's gone 4 super strong innings so far through 3.5. It's 9-0 Miners. Three, 4, and 5 due up for the Miners here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Alex Vergara, Steven Lancia, and Landon Rogers. David Lajevich still on the hill for the Bucs in his relief work after the starter Steven Hernandez went just 1+ inning. So here's Vergara, made that diving catch in center in the top half of this inning and hit a grand slam in the bottom of the 2nd inning, the first grand slam of the season for Matsu. And his 2nd homer of the year. Both of them right here at Herman Brothers. First pitch he sees this inning, and he pops it up squarely. The catcher, Maltby, turns around in foul territory and misses. He was lost up there in the clouds or something, and the ball, he had it, and it fell right beneath his glove. It's 0-1.
If the game continues on its current trend with Matsu getting all the breaks and Anchorage making all the mistakes, I can't imagine the firestorm of vitriol that will spew from Ken Hokuff's mouth when talking to his team, because any head coach would be enraged after a performance like this.
The Bucs are already riding a 3-game losing streak as Vergara slaps one into shallow right center field, staying within the ballpark this time. Actually give it a bit of a ride, but Pendergrast is there in right to make the catch over his left shoulder for out number 1.
We have seen just about everything this game. Grant Richardson has been on a roll on the hill for Matsu. We've seen a grand slam, a 9-run inning. What more could you ask for?
So here's Steven Lancia. He had 2 hits in the second inning, and he bops it up to the infield. A.B.L, the second baseman, ranges a couple steps to his left and makes the grab over his head. 1 pitch, 1 out there against Lancia, and there are 2 gone in the 4th.
Now batting your designated hitter, number 37, Landon.
And honestly, if you're the Matsu bats and you want Grant Richardson to keep going at his pace, now's the time to lay down. Just get in, get out, keep him warm. Obviously not the strategy they're going for.
Right. Rogers takes a strike right down the middle in the fastball. He replaced Maddox Haley, who had that infield hit back in the second inning, but came up limp. Rogers subbed in as a pinch runner, then pinch hit in the same inning as he swings and misses on a breaking ball from left to right against the right-hand batter. It's quickly 0-2. So then Rogers at the dish reached on a fielder's choice back in the second. The 0-2 from Lejevich, and this time Rogers lays off the same pitch. It's 1-2. Pitch, front door curveball, froze him. Great pitch for Lejevich. And he gets through the order 1, 2, 3 after 4 innings. It's 9-0 Matsu with the bottom of the order due up for Grant Richardson in the top of the 5th. It's 9-0 Miners on top as we begin the 5th inning. Curtis A.B.L, Logan Hokuff, and Dylan Maltby do up the bottom of the order 7, 8, 9 for the road team, the Anchorage Bucs. A.B.L in those University of Portland purple gloves, as he always dons, stepped in the right-hand batter's box, but not before the home plate umpire calls for time. Richardson smiles and readjusts his belt. Richardson struck out all 3 outs in the first inning, struck out 3 more batters in the second, struck out 2 in the third, and struck out 2 in the 4th. He's got 10 Ks so far through 4 innings of work. First pitch of the 5th is hacked on and missed. A big swing out of A.B.L, and it's 0-1.
Richardson is just beating these batters with his fastball. It's too good right now.
The 0-1, upstairs and away. It's 1-1.
He's doing a really good job of just making batters swing.
A.B.L, Hokuff, and Maltby all struck out swinging in the second. The 1-1 misses low. It's 2-1.
There is some action in the Matsu bullpen. Sidearm righty Larry Westall is warming up. Landon Rogers, who's now the DH, is putting on the catcher's gear to go out to the bullpen and help him.
The 2-1 catches the zone right above the belt. It's 2-2. It should be noted Richardson, should he get an out here in the fifth, it would mark his longest outing of the season. He hasn't gone more than 4 innings. This is his 7th start of the season. The 2-2 spoiled on the fastball, hit to the backstop. Richardson before tonight, his most strikeouts in an appearance was 7. That came on June 10th against the Pilots. Out of the windup. The 2-2 misses high. It's a full count. Fielders playing straight up. Rogers, Vergara, and Carpenter left to right. Hannes, Thurston, Tucker, and Vest third to first. The 3-2. Fastball misses inside, and A.B.L is on with a walk.
The pitch was inside. I thought A.B.L sold it a little bit, jumping out of the way. But the fact that it popped out of Lancia's glove didn't do Richardson any favors. So, a closer call than it might have seemed.
So here's Hokuff, the shortstop. Looked at a tailing fastball away for ball 1. He struck out swinging in the second. That was his 25th strikeout of the year. Before that, he had 24 Ks and 52 at-bats. That's a strikeout in just over 46% of his at-bats. That's bad. The 1-0 checked his swing, and it misses low around the shin level. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Hokuff with 1 on and nobody out in the top of the 5th. Matsu up 9-0.
Well, if you're Grant here, you can't get timid.
The 2-0 just misses off the outside corner. It's 3-0.
Being cautious won't do you any favors, especially with the bottom of the order who you already struck out. Every single one of them. A.B.L, Hokuff, and Maltby, who's on deck, have all gone down by way of the K.
The 3-0. That's in there, catching the bottom of the zone for strike 1. And then in the hole, you got Miles Smith, the leadoff man, and he struck out twice so far today. So it's still, everybody due up here. Richardson has struck out. The 3-1 just misses above the belt. And back-to-back walks have been issued off of Grant Richardson here to start the 5th.
This is exactly how he began the second inning, and then he struck out the next 3 batters. Of course, he might need a little counseling before he gets back to that.
So the infield is in, and Steve Hecker, the pitching coach, walks the mound to join in on the conversation. And Maltby, the batter due up, will mark the final batter to see him 2 times. After that, Richardson will see the lineup for the 3rd time.
Well, the old adage always is that you earn your stripes your 3rd time through the order. Every perfect game, no-hitter, whatever you want to do, shutouts even, get their toughest when you see the bats for the 3rd time around. Because as much as you figured them out, they've done the same for you.
So here's Dylan Maltby out of Phoenix College. Of course, as we alluded to, he struck out back in the 1st. He's now 3 for 46 on the season, so that's in the 0-60 range. 2 on for him, nobody out. The pitch sails low for ball 1. Maltby, like Logan Hokuff, who just worked a walk, last appeared on July 8th. And also like Hokuff, that was the only game they've played since these 2 teams last met on June 30th. The 1-0 is swung on and flared into right field. Carpenter, that gets down. Carpenter barehands it on the 1-hop, but a run scores in A.B.L, and that's an RBI double off the bat of Dylan Maltby. It's now 9-1, and I'm sorry, Grant, but your no-hitter is also done.
I blame you.
Yeah. That's too bad. That's a shame.
Now batting left fielder number 23, Miles Smith.
I think It had only been 4 innings, but I think the collective hearts of people here in the Mat-Su Valley sank with that.
So 2 runners in scoring position for the top of the order. Still no outs here in the top of the 5th. Miles Smith takes a ball inside. Of course, he struck out twice so far today. Richardson still out of the windup. The 1-0. Tags the outside corner. It's 1-1. Smith out of UC Irvine began the day batting .237. Now he's up to 11 strikeouts to 13 walks on this season. The 1-1 gets above the head, past Lancia. Hokuff scores from third base. And the runner from second goes on to third. It's now 9-2 on that wild pitch.
If you're Richardson, don't lose your head here. It's a shaky moment. Your no-hitter is over, but the most important thing you can do, the best thing you can do to help yourself, is just slow down, calm down, and find the zone.
2 balls, 1 strike to Smith. The fastball upstairs. It's 3-1. Hannah's playing with his toes on the grass as Smith checks his swing on the pitch inside and high. That's ball 4. The appeal to third base is no good, and the runners are at the corners. And that will be the outing for Grant Richardson. So, unfortunately for Richardson, he does not, in fact, earn it out in the 5th. So, he merely ties his longest outing of the season. But still, a really, really strong outing out of Grant Richardson. Retired almost every batter he faced through 4 innings. And walks off the mound with a nice applause from the home crowd. We'll be back in just a few minutes as Larry Westall gets ready.
Coming in to pitch for your Miners.
Runners at the corners for Anchorage. Still 0 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Mat-Su up 9-2. Grant Richardson is being relieved here for the side armor out of Incarnate Ward, Larry Westall, who enters with a .307 ERA in 8 appearances. This is his 9th outing. The pitch is swung on and hit in the shallow center field. Vergara is there, and he makes the grab. The runner fakes the tag, does not go home. The throw hits the cutoff man, first baseman Cooper Vest, and there's 1 out here in the 5th. That fly out to center field was off the bat of Alex Pendergrast.
That just shows what a responsible fielder Alex Vergara is. He knew right out of the break, after a pause, that there was still a runner on third, and he had that in the back of his mind. Great baseball IQ.
So here comes Lex Bodeker, the left-hand batter. Is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. The pitch drifts low and outside for ball 1. Westall last appeared on June 9th against the Oilers. Went 1 inning, allowing 3 hits, 1 earned run. Did have a strikeout as well, the 1-0. Just misses the outside corner. It's 2-0. Against the Bucs this season, Westall has appeared in 2 games. He's gone 5 1/3 innings, allowing 6 hits, 2 earned runs. The pitch. This time it's across the plate for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to the left-hand hitting Lex Bodeker. Pitch. Hit to third base. Hannes fields it, throws on a second to Tucker. The throw to first base. Gets him by half a step. 5-4-3 double play. Hannes, Tucker, Vest, and Westall gets out of the 5th. Anchorage strikes twice, but that's all. We head to the bottom of the 5th in a few moments, but right now we have ourselves the question of today's Pickaxe Pickle.
That's right, we do. So Matsu has a number of good players, but there's no Alaska League All-Star game. There is, however, a Major League Baseball one, and that played out last night, the National League securing its first win in a decade, 3-2. So, how many former Alaska Leaguers have played in the Midsummer Classic? I mean, a ton. That includes Dave Winfield, Barry Bonds, Randy Johnson, and more. Austin, can you name the last Matsu minor to appear in the ASG? And can you name every A.B.L. team's most recent Major League All-Star?
No.
Well, we'll have your answer in the middle of the 7th inning. You know, normally we've done this in the 3rd and the 5th, but this was such an exciting game that we had to postpone it just in case it disrupted Grant Richardson's no-hit bid.
On the mound here for Anchorage, a pitching change. It appears to be number 25, Cole Hallworth. And it's a little tough to see with those. It's actually number 26.
It's Oliver Brown. Oliver Brown. He's another one of those South Anchorage High School graduates who was on that state championship team. Him, Isaac Johnson, Curtis A.B.L were once by a local newspaper called a terrific trio on that team. That's how good South Anchorage High School has been in baseball over the last few years. Such a legacy.
So after the starter, Hernandez went 1+ innings. David Lajevich in relief went 3 innings. The first batter he faced, he let up a grand slam to Alex Vergara. Was only charged for Vergara scoring. Those 3 runners on base all went to the starter Hernandez. So here is Oliver Brown. And this season, Brown has a 5 flat ERA through 4 appearances. He last had an outing on June 23rd in the Bucs series in Kenai. He actually earned the win in that game, going 1 inning of work, allowing 1 hit, 1 earned run, and a walk. Only faced 5 batters. He's yet to face the minors this season. And he's set to face 6, 7, and 8, Caden Carpenter, Landon Rogers, and Alex Thurston. Carpenter 0 for 1 on the day so far, and he slaps one into center field. Bodeker ranges over and makes the grab as his body angled towards the ground, but no diving catch was needed, and there's 1 gone quickly in the bottom of the 5th.
It looked like he tripped going for the ball. I thought he was about to take a tumble after the catch, but thankfully he's okay. King Carpenter might want that back, though.
So here's Braden Rogers, right-hander on the hill, right-hand hitter at the plate. Brown's offering is a fastball that misses low. Rogers today walked and popped out in the 2nd inning, so he is 0 for 1. Began the day batting .235. The 1-0 is swung on, hit to Hoka, the shortstop. He misplays it, fires on the first, but he's safe. Hoka had the ball, but dropped it on the fielding part of the play. And that's an E6. Rogers is on base.
Your shortstop, number 6, Alex Thurston.
So the woes continue for the Anchorage Bucs. Again, it's 9-2 Miners here in the bottom of the 5th. So with 1 on and 1 out, Alex Thurston, the 8-hitter, steps into the box. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single back in the 2nd. He takes a strike down the middle on that fastball from Brown. Thurston against the Bucs is 5 for his last 10, dating back to June 17th. That includes today's numbers. The 0-1 is hit foul to the right of us here behind the plate. Brown checks the runner at first, and Britton Rogers now fires out of the stretch. The breaking ball is poked foul along the third base side. It's still 0-2. Again, today began with expectations. The Bucs lead the Miners by half a game in the standings for first place. Anchorage at 15-11, Matsu at 14-11. The Bucs have lost 3 straight. The Miners have won 3 of their last 4. Rogers goes. The pitch is flared off and foul.
Well, Thurston has really done a good job of protecting the plate, and he's struggled with strikeouts this season. He's got 18, that's second on the roster. But last time, even though he struck out, he fended off a pair of 2-strike pitches, just like he has here.
Rogers is 2 for 2 on stolen base opportunities this season. Thurston protecting that plate. The 0-2, breaking ball misses low, delayed steal attempt. Rogers goes, and he's safe. Braden saw the ball bounce in the dirt and took off, and he earns himself his 3rd swipe of the season.
Such a smart steal for Braden Rogers.
So smart, so savvy. Wow.
Now, if you're Thurston here, you know that the pitcher in Haworth is pitcher is a little shaken up in Oliver Brown. Expect something like a high fastball. Be ready to protect something right around the belt.
Thurston crowding the plate. The 1-2 is battered in the shallow right field. Tailing foul, and Pendergrass could not get there. It's still 1-2. Thurston has his highest batting average against these Bucs versus anybody else in the league. He's got 5 of his 9 hits on the season against this team. The 1-2 breaking ball hit back of the middle, but caught on the jump by Brown, and he flips underhand to first base. 1-3 for the putout there, and Rogers goes to third base. There are now 2 outs in the 5th. That's an athletic play out of Oliver Brown.
Yeah, I'm always impressed when pitchers jump, because not only do they have to jump right after reaching down at the end of a pitch, but it's an uneven surface, pitching down. And that's what they're landing on. It's a very athletic play.
So here's Caleb Hannes. Reached base both times so far today. Swung on and popped back out of play. Hannes had that 2-run single back in the 2nd inning. Part of that 9-run frame for Matsu. Then he had a walk in the 3rd. His batting average has risen to .250 when the day began. The 0-1. Fastball right down the middle for strike 2. Rogers 90 feet away. Matsu already up 9-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. Brown out of the stretch. He deals. Breaking ball in the dirt. Swung through to the backstop, though, and Rogers scores from third base as Hannes gets the first. An unorthodox run, and the Miners have double digits. It's 10-2.
A drop third strike to bring in a run. That's a new one. I'll give you that. The Miners are finding different ways to score.
And this comes just one day after a balk occurred that allowed a Miners run to score. So more unique ways. I mean, a balk yesterday and a grand slam and a drop third strike today. And this brings up the leadoff man, Nolan Tucker. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. This is his fourth plate appearance of the game. It's just the fifth inning. First pitch, he flares one foul up and over us. One on, 2 outs. Miners up, 10-2 in the bottom of the fifth. Brown right here is the third pitcher used today for the road squad. Runner goes. The pitch is a ball. The throw to the second base is on target, and Hannes is out without a slide. He tried to jump to avoid the tag, but nevertheless, he's out and slightly shaken up in the process as well. That ends the inning, but not after another run scores. After 5 innings, it's 10-2 Matsu. Welcome to the 6th inning. To my left is Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. Larry Westall back on the hill after the starter Grant Richardson went 4+ innings, allowing 1 hit, 2 runs, 6 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So Westall in for a second inning of work, ended the last inning on a double play. First pitch to Zach Thomas, the cleanoff hitter, runs lone outside for ball 1. Thomas today struck out twice. Both those times came against Richardson. The 1-0 misses low. It's 2-0. Westall takes a bit longer to reset on the rubber. Collects himself and fires away. That one misses up and in ever so slightly. It's 3 balls, no strikes. Westall, 9 strikeouts to 4 walks entering the day. The pitch, low and in. That's a 4-pitch walk.
Not a great feeling for Westall to walk Zach Thomas, who had struck out both times he'd come up.
So here's Cade Lacey. He walked in the second and lined out to center on that play where Vergara went airborne for the second time in as many days. The pitch to him does not catch the outside corner. Wow, Westall, not a fan of that one. Licks his fingers a couple times this time around and resets dangling that right arm. Back in the stretch, he fires home. The pitch misses low. It's 2-0. Lacey began the day batting .318. He's got 2 home runs on the year, including one right here in the Matsu Valley. The pitch sails high, just high, ball 3. Vergara, the center fielder, could be seen making a palms up motion like, what? Where was that pitch?
Yeah, that was a head scratcher. That looked like it was right at the belt buckle.
The 3-0 down the middle, called a strike, and that generates a sarcastic cheer from the home crowd. The 3-1, foul tipped, and it's suddenly a full count. Lacey has struck out 9 times this season to 11 walks. He's also grounded into 4 double plays. That's tied for the most on the Anchorage Bucs. The payoff pitch misses low and away on that tailing pitch off of that sidearm delivery. So back-to-back walks opens up the 6th inning here for Anchorage with Dante Turgeon at the dish. Turgeon has walked and struck out, and it feels like almost everybody has only walked and struck out on the Anchorage side today. First pitch to him here is a fastball called strike on the inner half of the plate. It's 0-1. Turgeon comes out of Chandler Gilbert College, home of the Coyote. He's a rising junior there. Westall, a rising senior. The 0-1 misses low and outside. It's 1-1. Turgeon has also hit 2 home runs this season. He bats .273 entering the day. The pitch, right down the middle, strike 2. He's 6 for 17 against the Miners, including today. That's around a .350 batting average. The 1-2, breaking ball, spoiled, hit up and over the fencing in front of us. Still 1-2. Westall peers in, shakes his head no, now says yes on the pitch. The 1-2, breaking ball popped up in the infield. Hannon's the third baseman, calls off everybody, and makes the grab for out number 1. So here's Curtis A.B.L. He struck out in the 2nd and walked in the 5th. 2 on, 1 out. Matsu up 10-2 in the top of the 6th. Westall checks second, goes home. The fastball just doesn't grab the lower part of the zone for ball 1. Home crowd a little anxious right now with these calls from the home plate umpire. Westall takes time. Now steps back on the bump. Peers in. Resets. The 1-0. Misses low, ball 2. Jesse, it's an 8-run game, but right now, this inning's taking a long time.
That's true. I mean, Westall is more just working out problems in his delivery right now. He's trying new stuff.
The 2-0 is hit and slapped to the catcher's mitt in Lancia. He's okay. It's 2-1.
And we're seeing Larry attack batters lower in the zone than he normally does. A lot of times he'll put his fastball up high. The umpire has been calling that when he does, so he's trying out some new stuff, and that might be why this inning is taking a little bit longer.
Okay. The pitch, low, for ball 3. Larry came in the 9th inning of Sunday's loss against the Oilers. That game was tied at 2 after 7 innings. 3-1 misses way inside. That's the 3rd walk that Westall has issued this inning, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, this is still a combined one hitter for Matsu.
Wow, that's right. That only hit it was a double for an RBI off the bat of the 9-hitter Dylan Maltby. And this prompts another mound visit with Steve Hecker, the pitching coach. It's just him, Lancey, and Westall on the hill.
There's not much for the infield to talk about here. This is getting closer of a game. I told you about my rule yesterday that a game is never out of reach if it's within 2 grand slams. Matsu was up 8 runs. It's 2 grand slams. Now the bases are loaded.
So when it was 9-0, was that a reach?
It felt, no, I mean, in all seriousness, it did feel much more comfortable than this does now.
Okay.
Especially because it's not that Matsu has ramped up the lead recently. They scored that 1 run on the wild pitch, but it definitely feels like the ball is in the Bucs' court.
First pitch to Hokuff misses low, about 2 inches below the knees. Hokuff, again, is 5 for 53 on the year. Second pitch, that one stings the lower end of the zone for a strike. Hokuff can't believe it. He thinks it's the same pitch as the previous one, but that's a called strike. It's 1-1. Westall, the pitch. Sweeper catches the outside part of the plate. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hokuff.
Sweeper. Man, I'm not a fan of that suddenly becoming a thing.
Yeah, it's a new terminology in the baseball world.
But it shouldn't be.
The 1-2 misses outside. Jesse Cook, noted traditionalist when it comes to baseball.
It's a slider. It's just a slider. All the major league players say the same thing. It's a slider.
Okay.
Sliders sweep.
The 2-2 hit to third base. Hannes is there, stabs it to second. That's 1 out. To first base, gets past Best. It was a low throw. 2-run score. And Hokuff grabs second base on the throwing error. It's now 10-4. So that could have been an inning-ending double play. And we've seen a lot of double plays start with Hannes there at third base, but Tucker unable to get it to Vest, who could not make the scoop. And so it's a 6-run game.
But as I was saying, the sweeper is not a real thing. It's wrong.
First pitch to Maltby is low for ball 1. Maltby had that RBI double after being 3 for 46 on the season. He takes a strike right down the middle. Count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch runs in low. 2-1. Westall winces after that pitch, just a little bit disgruntled with where that pitch landed up. Nothing about his physical ailment. The 2-1 sweeper is hacked and
but that's not
brought
a
up
thing.
and over the bleachers.
He's a
It's 2-2.
sidearm pitcher. He's a sidearm pitcher. That's just
I can see
naturally how his slider moves.
Yeah.
It's not a thing.
Chris Sale has a
slider.
Sweeper. No, it's a sweeper. The 2-2. That sweeps and catches the inside corner. Down goes Dylan Maltby. And Larry Westall is out of the 6th inning. Anchorage plates 2 more runs. It's 10-6 after 5.5 with the leadoff man due up in Nolan Tucker to begin the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back. We're back here, sandwiched in the Alaska State Fairgrounds in Palmer, Alaska. To my left is Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. The top of the order is here. Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, and Alex Vergara due up for the Matsu Miners in the bottom of the 6th, facing Oliver Brown in his second inning of relief work. Tucker out of Alpo. Brown out of Holy Cross. The pitch misses outside for ball 1. This season at Holy Cross, home of the Crusaders in Worcester, Massachusetts, Brown had 9 appearances at a 9 flat ERA, 18 earned runs in 18 innings. The 1-0 is swung on and hit foul along the left field line. Brown, as a senior in high school, was first team all-conference as a shortstop and second team all-conference as a pitcher. He also won 2 state championships his junior and senior years. That's South Anchorage, as Jesse's mentioned many a time. Tucker fouls one back out of play. It's 1-2.
That is a dynasty out here. It is funny to think about that here are guys who grew up in Anchorage playing for this Anchorage team who have already enjoyed so much success at Mulcahy Stadium.
This prompts something else, but we'll wait for this pitch to come across. Brown's 1-2. Low on the curveball. It's 2-2. We were playing basketball earlier today at the Alaska Club.
And I dunked on you.
Yes. But in all seriousness, you know, if I wanted to, I could have made the game very miserable for everybody else involved. And I thought, if these kids ask us, you know, where we go to school, as the 2-2 misses low and outside,
oh, man,
I would have said I was a rising senior at South Anchorage High.
Well, I think you really could have surprised him by saying we go to Syracuse because they know that's a basketball school. You could have said your name's Juna Mintz.
Whoa, the 3-2 misses low. Nolan Tucker has himself a walk the second time he's earned a base on balls today, and the leadoff man is on in the 6th for Matsu.
For reference, Juna Mintz is the star of the Syracuse men's basketball team. Although I guess it's not that much of a legacy anymore because Syracuse hasn't made the tournament in 2 years.
Still a basketball school, just in a bit of a dip these last 2 years, but with new head coach Adrian Autry and a load of recruits and transfers,
it'll be fun.
It should be a better year for the Cuse men's basketball team as Cooper Vest at BYU. That basketball team always fun there in Provo. He slaps one up high behind the shortstop area. Hokoff is there and makes the grab over his head for out number 1.
One could say that catch was a layup.
Yes, one could in fact say that. Vergara steps in the box. He hit a grand slam back in the 2nd. I guess the basketball equivalent of that would be a 360 poster dunk. 1-on-1 out in the bottom of the 6th.
I've done those many times.
From experience, of course, yes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Many a time. The 10-4 lead. Runner goes. The pitch is a swing and a miss, and Tucker is in safely without a throw.
10-4 the lead, and also my height.
There's also a song, 10-4. It's a good song.
Well, it's a phrase. You know, something's okay. 10-4.
Yeah.
Also, my vertical jump, 10'4". That's true. It's from a standing start.
That would break some combine numbers, that's for sure. The 0-1 to Vergara swoops low and outside, stopped by the catcher Maltby. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike to the power hitter Vergara.
Well, I would bring it to the combine, but it's like you playing basketball against those kids. You didn't want to show them up. You would be too good.
It's tough because you want to play cool, but you also want to, insert your dominance every now and then.
Yeah, you did dunk.
Yeah, just once. I felt like twice would have been too try hard of a move. The 1-1 is high and in. 2 balls, 1 strike to Vergara.
I know we don't want to risk the minors players getting injured, but there is a number of former basketball players on this team. Guys like Drew Christo, one of the right-handed starting pitchers.
Yes. Grant Richardson, who started today.
Brandon Downer.
Yes.
A lot of pitchers play basketball.
Larry Westall. Browns 2 on offering. Once again in the dirt. Tucker decides to go. Vergara steps out of the way, and Tucker is safe. So that goes down as another stolen base for Nolan Tucker. He began the day with 3. He's now got 5.
I was worried that Dylan Maltby might plead for batter's interference because Vergara didn't initially get out of the way when the ball skittered between his feet, but thankfully that's not a problem.
The 3-1 fastball foul to the backstop. It's 3-2. So Tucker has got that jersey all dirty now here in the bottom of the 6th. Hasn't had any ground balls hit his way so far today. He's usually very busy out there at second. Had the day off yesterday. And now with Barreras out of the lineup with a lower body injury, his Valpo teammate Thurston has taken over at short. The payoff pitch to Vergara is taken up high for ball 4. So the runners are at the corners with 1 out for Steven Lancia.
There's some action in the Matsu bullpen. Mario Bejarano, the lefty out of Central Arizona Community College, was just warming up, although he's sat down.
Oh.
Well, you never know if that means that his bullpen catcher, Landon Rogers, needed to come up to the plate.
Good point, yes. First pitch to Lancia is swung through on a changeup. Lancia today, 2 for 3, a double and a single back in the 2nd. Popped up in the 4th. The pitch, up and in.
This is a peculiar day for the bullpen catching crew because you have 4 catchers on this team, 4 people with the ability to catch, and Lancia, Grant Farlander, who's homesick, then Braden and Landon Rogers. But all 3 of those who are present are in the lineup.
Very peculiar day at the ballpark, that's for sure. The 1-1 is even closer to Lancia's face as the previous pitch. It's 2-1. Lancia almost went around, checked his swing as the pitch whistled about 5 inches from his face. Two on, 1 out. Matsu up 10-4 in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch, fastball, stings the outside corner. It's 2-2. Lancia out of UT Rio Grande Valley began the day batting just 2 for 9 against the Bucs specifically this season. But he's got a hit in every game against these Bucs. The pitch runs outside on the breaking ball, stopped nicely by Maltby. It's a full count. Brown with the glove on his left chest, now resets, belt high. The payoff pitch swung on and hit out of play. Lancia communicates with somebody in the Miners dugout. Made a couple of hand motions with his right hand, now steps back in the batter's box. Perhaps Vergara will take off here on the 3-2. Big lead for him. He does not go. The pitch is clobbered into left field. Smith runs back and makes the grab at the wall. He makes the catch and Tucker tags from third base. That's a long sacrifice fly as Smith ran into the wall. It's 11-4 Matsu.
Steven Lancia has 2 home runs at Herman Brothers Field, both of them to the left field fence. And that's the second time that he's had a ball that almost went out over there. The first one came in at an exhibition affair against the Monarchs. Left fielder in that game didn't chase. Miles Smith, thankfully for the Bucs, did.
Lancia sent it for a ride, but regardless, there were 2 outs for Landon Rogers. He swings through a fastball for strike 1. Rogers out of Santa Fe Community College in Gainesville, Florida. Same city as the University of Florida, the Gators. Santa Fe CC, home of the Saints. The 0-1 to Landon. Swung through again. And Maltby throws on the first. Vergara back safely without a slide, but it's an 0-2 count to Rogers.
By the way, Mario Bejarano is warming up again with Sebastian Tomerlin, his NCAA teammate, warming him up.
Wow.
It's weird. You don't always see a guy squatting in the catcher's stance with a glove on his right hand.
That is unique stuff for sure.
Of course, Sebastian, an outfielder normally. I don't think he ever played catcher even in Little League.
Tyler Brunn,
He's just playing bullpen
yeah,
catcher, but
forced to make some interesting decisions here tonight, and perhaps moving forward with Barreras and Maddox Haley dinged up. The 0-2 fastball swung through for the third time. Oliver Brown wins the battle against Landon Rogers, and that retires the side. But the Miners score one more run here in the bottom of the sixth and lead it 11-4. We'll have the final 3 innings in just a few moments.
the sky stays blue and the Miners stay ahead. What else is new? An 11-4 lead for Matsu as we begin the top of the 7th inning. I'm Jesse Cook. To my right is Austin Barach. And there's a new pitcher in the game for Matsu in Mario Bejarano. He relieves Larry Westall. The sidearm righty went 2 innings, allowed 2 unearned runs, and walked 3. Also struck out 1. Bejarano comes into this game for his 9th appearance of the season. All of them have come in relief. He's thrown 8 1/3 innings with a 7.56 earned run average. And he's got to deal at the top of the order for Anchorage in Miles Smith, Alex Pendergrast, and Lex Bodeker. Between those 3, there are no hits. In fact, there is only 1 hit for this entire Anchorage lineup. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch is a strike blown away. That hit came from Dylan Maltby, and that was a double off of Grant Richardson in the 5th inning. The 0-1. Backdoor curveball for a strike. 0-2 count. Bejarano out of Central Arizona Community College. This season in the A.B.L, he's recorded 11 strikeouts. The 0-2. Misses high and in, and it actually lipped the helmet of Miles Smith. He barely reacted, but it just got him on the bill. He's all right. Like, that came in on his head, but he didn't even react. But you could hear the small click. So after starting out 0-2, Bejarano hits Smith with a pitch and deals with Alex Pendergrast now, who's 0 for 2 with a pop out, a fly out, and he walked in the first. Pitch. Misses inside for a ball. And so it stays true that there are only 2 games this season in which Matsu pitching has not hit a batter. The 1-0 misses up high. It looked like it might trend that way. The Matsu could go without hitting a batter in this game, but not the case. 1-0 count. He deals. Pendergrast watches an inside curve for a ball. Mario is a native of Tucson, Arizona. He's a rising sophomore at CACC. The 2-0. 3-0 rather, misses low and inside for ball 4. So after starting off with back-to-back strikes, 5 straight pitches missed the zone from Bejarano. Steven Lancia calls time and walks out to talk to his pitcher. The next batter is Lex Bodeker. He digs in from the left side, and he's 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts, and he grounded into a double play. Lefty-lefty matchup, first pitch, blown away for a ball. To say walks have been a problem for every team in the A.B.L. would be an understatement. 1-0, that's a strike. Every team in the league has dealt over 100 walks this season. And for Matsu, this is game 26. The 1-1, swung on, belted to second. Tucker fields it, throws to the back for one, across to first. Yes, sir! A double play for Matsu. Nolan Tucker to Alex Thurston to Cooper Vest, 4-6-3. And that moves Miles Smith into third base. But that's a sorely needed double play for this defense that had put the first 2 runners on.
Seems like each of the last 3 games, there's been at least 2 double plays turned for Matsu. Maybe with the exception of Sunday against the Oilers.
Shows what a strong setup Matsu has in the middle infield. When you can cycle between Nolan Tucker, by the way, here's the first pitch to Zach Thomas. He courts the foul. You can cycle between Nolan Tucker, Emilio Barreras, Alex Thurston, occasionally Braden Rogers or Caleb Hannes, 5 of the most sure-footed players in the game. The 0-1 is swung on, hit to third. Hannes fields it on the backhand, fires across to first. Vest can't pick it, and a run comes home. That was just about to be one of your highlight reel plays in the A.B.L., something that you would see from Manny Machado in San Diego, or really in his Baltimore days, but not quite. And that's a run for the Bucs. 11-5 Miners to score now in the top of the 7th. That is, of course, an infield hit. No error on that play. Hannes had to reach over his shoulder for a ground ball and throw, hurling his body against the ground. First pitch to Cade Lacey is popped up into shallow right field. Down the line, Caden Carpenter is there, and that's a can of corn. The Bucs score 1 on 1 hit with a hit by pitch and a walk in the top of the 7th, but the score is still 11-5 in favor of the Miners, a hefty 6-run lead. And it's time to take a look at the answer to our Pickaxe Pickle. So let's go to the question first. Yesterday was the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Of course, that has featured many former Alaska Leaguers. Think about Dave Winfield, Barry Bonds, Randy Johnson, Mark McGuire, Tom Seaver's in that mix. Can you name the last Matsu Miner to appear in the ASG? And can you name every A.B.L. team's most recent MLB All-Star? Let's start with the Miners. Do you have any idea?
I don't think Senzel would be the answer. Lowry, probably not.
Larry?
Jed Lowry.
Oh.
I'll go with Jed Lowry. I don't know.
See, you tell me that you're not looking at the answer beforehand. But
no way that's right.
Absolutely.
Wow. See, that's look,
Jed
man,
Lowry in
it's
2018
it's dumb luck, I'm
for
telling
the
you.
Oakland Athletics. He was the last Miners All-Star. For the Bucs, it's Paul Goldschmidt last year in 2022. For the Chinooks, you go back to Josh Donaldson in 2016. For the Glacier Pilots, it's Aaron Judge this year. He's the only A.B.L. alum to be in this year's All-Star game, although he didn't even play. And for the Oilers, you have to go back 15 years to J.D. Drew for the Red Sox.
Wow. That's crazy to think that J.D. played in Peninsula. Wow.
Yes, he did.
Coral Seymour Memorial Ballpark. Wow. J.D. Drew once played there. That's crazy.
Hey, J.D. Drew's one of my favorite Red Sox of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Top 20. We're both Red Sox fans, so we got a lot of favorites. Caden Carpenter's in to lead off the bottom of the 7th for Matsu. The Miners lead 11-5 with Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. It's still Oliver Brown on the hill for Anchorage. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch. He swings and nails it to the backstop foul. Carpenter today is 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the second, but grounded into a fielder's choice later in that second frame and flied out to center field last time up. That was in the 5th. Brown's 0-1. Swung on and fouled off to the left. Matsu has scored in back-to-back innings. That's only been a drop in the bucket, though. Even without those 2 runs, Matsu would still be up by 4. That second inning, 9 runs came through for the Miners. Everyone in the lineup scored. Brown comes set, the 0-2. Hanging curveball missed way away. He's lucky that hung up there, because if that was anywhere near the strike zone, Carpenter could have sent that 400 feet. Brown resettles. Here's the 1-2. Changeup missed blown away. He's trying some junk, and it's not finding the garbage.
Hate when that happens. If it can't even find the garbage, where's it finding?
Exactly. 2-2. Carpenter swings, drives it to shallow left field. Miles Smith is there. He reaches up and makes a grab right left of his camo hat. 1 up, 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. That brings up Braden Rogers. He's also searching for his first hit. Despite having scored 2 runs and recording a stolen base, he's 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the second, popped out in the latter half of that same inning, and last time up reached on an error and ended up scoring. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch. Swings and tails it over the backstop foul. And that hit thudded off the top of the beer shack. That sits right behind our press box. 0-1 count. Base is empty, 1 away. The pitch. This is up high for a ball. Rogers is such a multifaceted character for this team. We've seen him hop in at every position, including the catcher spot. The 1-1. This is up high for a ball. The game against the Legion Valley All-Stars on Monday was canceled due to rain, but head coach Tyler Brunn had penciled in a number of unconventional substitutions for his team, position players throwing and whatnot. 2-1. Rogers swings and pops it up behind the plate and foul ground, and that's into the stands. I was wondering if we would see Braden Rogers in that game, pitching, because that would make him the only player in the A.B.L. this season to play every single position. Actually, no, Rogers has yet to play first base. So there is some more that he has to do.
And center, right? Has he played center?
I think you're right. But he's got the capability to go anywhere on the field. The 2-2. That's high for a ball. Full count for Rogers. The payoff. Just missed below the knees, blown away, and Braden Rogers is aboard with his second walk of the day. That brings up Alex Thurston. It's been a good couple of days for him. He's 2 for 4 since yesterday. That was his first start in a week. He's walked 3 times, all those came yesterday. He's got a pair of RBIs, 3 runs scored. Today has been a little less positive for him, but he still has that RBI single in the second, just adding into a strikeout and a groundout. Runner on first, 1 away. The pitch. Righty swings and pops it up shallow center field. Behind shortstop, that might actually drop. Racing in is Bodeker, and he makes the running grab. He started out with a jog, picked up the pace, and then started sprinting when he saw where the ball was finally going to land. 2 away with a runner on first for the 9-hitter, and Caleb Hanna's. He's 1 for 2, and he's reached base every time he came up. Struck out swinging last time, but reached on a drop third.
I believe that was a puzzling play to the shortstop, Logan Hokuff, to not backpedal and try to make that play, because the center fielder, Bodeker, had to go a much longer way to get that pop-up.
Well, it's a tough read, and I think Bodeker might have called him off. The center fielder has supreme rule on the field. First pitch to the righty, Hanna's blown away, skips by the catcher Maltby, and that's an easy swipe of second for Braden Rogers on the wild pitch.
Well, the thing that puzzles me is that immediately upon impact, Hokuff just pointed up. I don't even know if there was a call-up. I just think he pointed up, and Bodeker was like, whoa, I guess I got to sprint to get this.
And there's no wind out there either. This is
Yeah.
It's not like the ball could really die. 1-0 count, runner on second, 2 away. 11-5 Miners, bottom of the 7th, the pitch. Fastball misses in the dirt. Hannah's singled home a pair and scored in the second inning. Then he reached on a first pitch hit by pitch in the third. And last inning, 2-0, swings and pops it up. Out of play, foul. And his last time up in the 5th inning, he reached on a drop third strike that scored Braden Rogers. That's the first time Matsu has scored thanks to a drop third strike, although they've seen it happen again to them in this ballpark against an Anchorage team in the Glacier Pilots back on June 8th. Third game of the season. 2-1. Hannah swings, pops it up on the infield dirt to second base. First baseman Zach Thomas calls everyone off, and he makes a grab right on the edge of the infield grass. That does it for the 7th inning. The Miners strand Braden Rogers on second base with no hits. Off we go to the 8th, a 6-run lead for the hometown crowd, and Mario Bejarano will be back on the hill to continue his work. That against the 6, 7, 8 hitters in Turgeon, A.B.L, and Hookup. Clouds have rolled in over Herman Brothers Field, but the air is just as temperate as ever. It's a balmy 64 degrees here. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. The Miners lead 11-5 in the top of the 8th inning. Just as beautiful an outing for Matsu. Mario Bejarano deals to Dante Turgeon. The first pitch is high for a ball. Turgeon, A.B.L, and Hokif are due up this inning. The DH bats from the right side. Bejarano, the lefty, fires the 1-0. This is low and inside for a ball. This is faster than we've seen Mario work through a batter. Makes me wonder about that pitch clock in the major leagues. 2-0. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. It's a 2-1 count. I've heard a lot of pitchers say that they actually like the pitch clock because it helps them get into a rhythm on the hill. It's good for them, the 2-1. This is up high.
I wonder if the Vinny Bianchi philosophy has rubbed off on him.
Yeah, Vinny, he's not quick pitching, but he's fast. The 3-1 swung on and corkscrewed foul off to the right side. That's a full count for Turgeon. Yeah, Bianchi, he knows rhythm. He gets his jump right when he needs it. Full count, Bejarano fires. Swung on, ripped up the middle, out to shortstop, fielded by Thurston. He scoops it up, fires low to first, and Best picks it for the out. One away after some elite glove work at first base. That brings up Curtis A.B.L. He's 0 for 1, but he's reached his last 2 times at the plate, both on walks. First time on a full count, the second time on a 3-1 affair. And A.B.L. appeared the last time these two teams played, but not with a bat, on the hill. He pitched. First one to the righty is high for a ball. Yeah, Curtis A.B.L. has thrown a couple innings this season for Anchorage, and his appearance against the Miners was not great. Didn't make it through 2 innings. That pitch comes up high for a ball. Went an inning and a third, and in that time he allowed 6 runs. Only 2 of them were earned. Didn't strike out any batters. Allowed 4 hits. 2-0. Swings and nails it to the backstop. That's a foul ball, and I guess We'll be rocking with a diagonal view for a little bit. Austin's going out to fix the camera now. So thank you for bearing with us. This is a perpetual problem that happens when you have to line up your camera with zip ties on a fence. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. It's a 2-2 count for A.B.L. So if you see your camera shake or get readjusted, don't worry, it's all part of the plan. Majorano into the windup, the 2-2 pitch. He swings, drives it to right field, but easy work for Caden Carpenter. He looks over his shoulder and makes a grab on a turn. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the 8th, and that brings up Logan Hoketh. Just like the rest of the order, except for Dylan Maltby, he's searching for his first hit. Hoketh today is 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the 5th, though.
Now batting, shortstop number 17, Logan Hoketh.
First pitch to Hoketh is low and inside for a ball. Pitch comes in. That pitch comes in for a foul tip into the mitt. It's a 1-1 count for Hoketh. Base is empty, 2 away. The pitch. He swings, drives it to center field. Alex Vergara moves over to his right, and he has enough time to make the grab about 20 steps in front of the wall. 1, 2, 3 go the Bucs. Now their backs are supremely pressed up against the wall. They have one more time at bat, and the Miners get to add on here in the bottom of the 8th. Or they get to try to add on. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment. 11-5, the Miners lead.
Stomping grounds at Long Beach State University, number 14, Sky Wells.
Welcome back into the Matsu Valley. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Miners lead the Bucs 11-5. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Sky Wells, a new arm on the hill for the Bucs. The lefty has faced the Miners before, twice. In fact, he's gone 5 1/3 innings against Matsu and allowed 4 earned runs in that time, striking out 10 batters. Keep in mind, those 10 Ks came in one game. Last time he pitched against Matsu was not great for the Wells family. He went 1 1/3 innings plus. Allowed no hits, but he walked 5 batters, struck out just 1. 4 earned runs in that time with 3 hit by pitches. So that first time he played against the Miners, he struck out 9. That was a relief appearance. Besides that, this season, Wells has actually been incredibly solid. He's 2-0 with a .341 earned run average. He struck out 27 batters. And he's got the top of the order for Matsu and Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, and Alex Vergara. Lefty-lefty lineup here. First pitch on the way. That's called a strike, low and inside. Matsu went up big in the second inning. Every single member of the Miners lineup scored. 9 runs in that frame. The 0-1 to Tucker. Swings and fouls it over the backstop. Tucker has scored 2 runs. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. That first walk came in the second frame. He scored later on thanks to the Alex Vergara grand slam. That made it a 9-0 game. Now it's 11-5. The 0-2 swings, hits the inside part of the bat, and spirals foul off to the left. Tucker out of Valparaiso. He's at second base today, and it's the second time this season we've seen the same setup that the Valparaiso team put on the left side of the infield, with Caleb Hannas at third, Alex Thurston at short, and Tucker at second. The 0-2 swings, and it's deja vu. Fouls it off to the left side with the same exact inside-out go-around.
Tucker's so good at that inside-out swing, had that inside-out double yesterday along the left field line.
That's true. He put it opposite field, and the ball just kept skewering foul. The 0-2 swings, laces it down the third base line, and it's just foul past the diving Cade Lacey. If that's an inch to the right, that's extra bases for Tucker.
And it'd be on cue with that inside-out swing.
That's right. That's a really good method of protecting the plate against a pitcher like Sky Wells, he's 6'2", he's 190. That's a tall frame for Nolan Tucker to play against, because Tucker is 5'9". So when Wells deals at 3/4 grip, it's essentially coming from behind Tucker, so it makes sense that he would protect the plate off to the left, go with the grain of the ball. 0-2 pitch on the way. He deals inside, and it hits him right on the hip. So Nolan Tucker protects for a good cause, and he's on with a hit by pitch. His third time reaching base today without recording a hit.
Number 17, Cooper Vest.
That brings up Cooper Vest. The left-handed hitting first baseman is 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Guess what frame it came in? The second inning. Grounded out to short in the first, had that single to center in the second, struck out swinging in the third, and then popped out in the sixth. Nobody out, runner on first. 11-5 the Miners lead, top of the eighth. Wells fires. That's a called strike at the belt. Wells is a California boy. He's from a town called Placerville, and it's not too far away from his alma mater at Long Beach State. He's a rising sophomore. Vest out of BYU. The 0-1 pitch is blown away for a ball. And there's such a pride that comes with being a part of that Provo team in BYU. The baseball fandom in that state is off the charts. Every time we post something with Cooper, it gets so much engagement. People love him. The 1-1, runner off for second. Vest swings and misses. Throw to the bag. One hops and gets through. Backed up by Curtis A.B.L, but that is a stolen base for Nolan Tucker, his third of the day.
Wow.
It's a 1-2 count for Vest. It's a 6-run game. It's not entirely out of reach, so I don't think that's in poor taste, although Matsu has controlled this game from start to finish. When you consider how well Grant Richardson threw during his first 4 innings, when he allowed no hits and struck out 10, it's been such a solid day for Matsu. The 1-2, Vest swings and nails it off the end of the bat to the left side. And this game decides first place in the A.B.L. The Bucs sit a half game ahead of the Miners. They're 15-11. Matsu is 14-11. And barring anything drastic, this game will likely go the way of the Miners, but we're not going to jump the gun and say that that's for sure. We've seen big leads evaporate in the A.B.L. Matsu has had 3 comebacks of 3 runs or more. The 1-2. Vest swings, pops it up behind shortstop. Hokiff in pursuit, looks over his shoulder. He makes a sliding grab. The coach's kid earns his candy going onto the outfield grass, and that holds Matsu in check with Tucker staying on second and there being 1 away.
Your center fielder, number 16, Alex Vergara.
Yeah, impressive play there out of Hokiff. Vest had that one lollipopped. I thought it was going to touch grass, but nice effort there from Hokiff.
Yeah, really great job for him to track down that ball over his shoulder, fighting the light gray clouds above. That's how you earn your stripes. Here's Alex Vergara. He hit that grand slam earlier. The pitch to the righty out of Lipscomb, and he swings and misses at the fastball low and away. Vergara had a home run this season at Clemson that went out of the baseball stadium. He clobbered 23 dingers, and that Clemson yard is big. I've been there in person. It's almost 400 to the left center field wall. The 0-1 waits on a changeup up high. 1-1 count for the center fielder. Vergara, he's got hits in 3 of the last 4 games, and he's also got RBIs in 2 of those last 4. He had 3 ribbies back on Sunday against the Chinooks. That was a 7-1 Miners win. He had a pair of extra base hits, including a triple. The pitch. Swings, ropes it to second. A.B.L fields it on the hop. No one gets through. Gets just under his glove. Tucker holds at third. The relay to the infield keeps him there. Runners on the corners for Matsu, and that brings up Steven Lancia, the power-hitting catcher who already has a sacrifice fly in this game and a pair of hits, including a double.
Now batting, your catcher, number 27, Steven Lancia.
And Lancia had Matsu's last hit before that Vergara single. Can you guess what inning that came in?
The second?
That's right. Since then, no hits for the Miners. The pitch. Lancia swings, rips into left field. Tucker scores. It's 12-5 Matsu. Vergara moves up to second on the single, and Steven Lancia has his 3rd hit of the day.
Now batting, your designated hitter, number 37, Landon Rogers.
So if Matsu continues at this pace, the Miners will win their 3rd set of back-to-back games this season. Their first was in games 1 and 2. Then they won a trio of contests down in the peninsula. They won last night 10-6 over those Chinooks. The pitch, Landon Rogers watches one up high for a ball. He replaced Maddox Haley in that second inning. Throwback to the mound got by Wells, but Curtis A.B.L backed him up. And so Vergara stays at second. That makes me think of those Little League games where your coaches always tell you back up the pitcher, because those catchers' arms weren't always as sure as they are at the college level.
They weren't.
They would miss. The 1-0, fastball low and away. That's a ball. But Rogers replaced Maddox Haley at the DH spot in the second inning. Haley legged down infield hit in his first at-bat, but was left hobbling afterwards with a leg injury. The 2-0, fastball low and inside. We have yet to get an update on Haley and how he's doing, but we knew before the game that he would be playing through a leg injury. And so Ty LeBron made the probably wise decision to pull him right there. There's some action in the Matsu bullpen. Will Rizzo, the righty closer, warming up. 2-1 to Rogers. He pops it up over the backstop. Rizzo has had a shaky couple of appearances. He started out the season red hot. 7 scoreless appearances. That was 9 innings that he threw. But he's allowed 4 runs in his last 2 outings, both of those coming in the past week. Runners on first and second, 1 away. A 7-run lead for the Miners in the bottom of the 8th. 2-2 pitch. Swings, dribbles it down the third base line, and foul. Rogers stays alive with a 2-2 count. This is not the only game going on in the A.B.L. right now. It's the bottom of the 8th inning in Anchorage between the Glacier Pilots and the Oilers. And the Peninsula has roared back. They were down 4-2, but now they lead 11-4. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss up high. Rogers goes down by way of the K for the 3rd time in a row. But how about those Oilers? If all goes as planned for them, that'll be their 4th win in the last 5 games.
Yep.
They will tie the Chinooks for that last playoff spot, too. And the entire league will be separated by just 4 games.
Yeah, really, 5th win of the last 6. I mean, how about the Miners? If Matsu can win today, reclaim first place.
That's right. Caden Carpenter up at the plate, batting from the left side. First pitch, he swings, drills it out to short. Hoka fields it on the backhand, lobs onto first. It gets by him! An easy throw, and it one-hop Thomas and got away. Vergara scores, Lancia moves over to third, and Carpenter is into second. Logan Hoka, after such a good grab and a diving play earlier in this inning, royally messes up. It's 13-5 Miners.
Yeah, way to stab it on the backhand, and that's a tough throw. It's tougher than you might think because he really could have helped himself by gaining momentum with a crow hop perhaps, but he tried to throw off his back foot a little off balance, and throw was too short, couldn't be scooped by Thomas at first.
And it was such a leisurely attempt, too. It was like he already knew that the at was being made, and clearly he did not. Here's Braden Rogers. He bats from the right side. He's searching for hit number 1 today. The pitch, he drives it to center field. Easy work for Lex Bodeker in right center. He makes a one-handed grab left of his head. That brings us to the 9th inning. Matsu searching for an opportunity to re-enter the first place spot. The Bucs took first place from the Miners just about 3 weeks ago, and they haven't let go since. The Miners hold an 8-run lead, and it's their game to lose. We move on to the top of the 9th inning. Matsu's right-handed flame-throwing closer, Will Rizzo, comes on to shut the door. He's got the 9-1-2 batters in Maltby, Smith, and Pendergrass due up in the 9th. 13-5 Miners. We'll be back in a second. With an opportunity to regain first place firmly within the Miners' grasp, it's the top of the 9th inning, and Matsu leads Anchorage 13-5. Will Rizzo on the hill. It's his 3rd appearance against these Bucs. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook, and this is a much wider margin than he's used to enjoying on the hill, but his last couple of appearances have not been confidence-building, to say the least. After going 7 scoreless appearances to begin his campaign, followed up with 3 earned runs in one showing and then another 6 in the last. He earned the loss against the Oilers on Sunday. That's 9 earned runs across the last 2 appearances for Rizzo. He's got the 9-1-2 hitters in Maltby, Smith, and Pendergrast. That's what stands between Matsu and first place, something that the Bucs have held on to for 3 weeks. First pitch to the righty. He swings and chops it down the third base line. Hannes hops and fields it. He throws on to first, and he got him. A high baseball IQ play from Caleb Hannes. Dylan Maltby didn't even run because he thought the ball was foul, but the last hop was fair. Hannes jumped to make the play, and he got him. That's why he was all MVC defensive team in 2022 at Valparaiso.
Dude, Hannes is so good at third base. You're right. What a high IQ play right there. If he had not leapt and let that ball land, it would have gone foul. The umpires are going to talk it over here, but what a headsy play by Hannes.
Yeah, great thinking from him. You could see his eyes light up when he saw the ball land fair and Maltby not moving. Umpires talk it over, and it looks like the play will stand, we think. Maltby is hanging around the home plate circle, and now he finally walks off to the dugout. So Caleb Hannes makes it count. And Will Rizzo is one out closer to get another positive outing. He really struggled against the Oilers his last 2 appearances, but the Bucs, he's gotten the better of them every single time. First pitch on the way to Miles Smith. The lefty watches a fastball low for a ball. Rizzo has gone 2 2/3 innings against the Buccos. He's recorded 1 save against them, a whip of 150 against Anchorage. That pitch is a called strike at the knees. Smith is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts, but he reached on a walk and a hit by pitch in the 7th. That's when he scored his only run today. The 1-1. Front door curveball misses low and inside. Rizzo has walked 4 Bucs batters this season. He's also struck out 4 of them. The 2-1. Swings, dribbles it to first base. Vest plays back and out on the early outfield grass. Runs over to first, and he got him. Matsu is 1 out away from reclaiming first place in the Alaska Baseball League. And Alex Pendergrast is the only thing stopping them right now. The right fielder is hitless thus far. He's reached on a pair of walks, popped out to first base in the 3rd, and flew out to center in the 5th. Anchorage has just 2 hits today. The pitch to the righty. He waits on a fastball up high for a strike. That first hit came from Maltby to break up Grant Richardson's no-hitter in the 5th inning. And Zach Thomas had an infield hit. The 0-1 swings and dreidels it foul off to the right. Thomas reached on an infield hit to 3rd in the 7th inning. It's a miracle that Caleb Hanna's even got to that ball. He had to jerk his body around to even make a throw to first. It just got by Cooper Vest. 0-2. For first place, he deals. Swing and a miss. Skips away from the catcher. Lancia picks up. Lobs on to first. Vest stabs it. And the Matsu Miners are back in control of the A.B.L. in first place. A 13-5 victory. Will Rizzo has a 1-2-3 inning in the 9th. And Matsu from the bottom of the valley is atop the mountain.
Oh, yeah. How about it? I mean, after that June 30th game, Jesse, the Bucs were what, 4.5, 5.5 games up on the Miners? And since then, it's been a flip ever since July 4th began. Matsu is 6-2 and are now back in first place. It feels good. This team is trending in the right direction. A little banged up right now. We'll see how these next few games play out. But today was a statement game, a statement win. And I mean, all is right in the universe with the Matsu Miners in first place.
That's right. All is right for Matsu. This was a team that was in 3rd place a week ago behind the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And just for an update on them, they're now down with 2 away in the bottom of the 9th with a 7-run deficit to eclipse for the Oilers, who are also on their own tear. But Matsu is in first place now. They beat the Bucs, and yes, they're banged up, but you're right. This is a statement win because of the fact that they were without their everyday shortstop in Emilio Barreras. They were without their everyday left fielder in Maddox Haley after he had to leave the game with an injury. Steven Lancia is injured behind the dish, but he had to tough it out because the backup catcher, Grant Farlander, is injured, or rather, he's sick. These Matsu players are having a lot of fun on the field. Ethan Lake tackled Brandon Downer.
He tackled Kirby. He tackled Kirby.
Oh, that's right. Head coach Tyler Brunn's nephew. It's baseball camp season up here in the Matsu Valley, so Kirby was enjoying that earlier today with over 150 other kids. And Matsu must be feeling it as young and as fresh as they felt all season with a win like that. They just blew the Bucs out of the water. And this game lasted just under 3 hours. All but 3 of the now 7 meetings between these two teams have gone 3 hours. Every single one has gone at least 2 hours and 45 minutes. These are drawn-out battles, and Matsu got the better of the Bucs, back in first place.
Yeah, it's been quite the turnaround for the Miners, and it's been big innings these last 2 days. 8 runs in the first inning yesterday, 9 runs in a second inning today. Tack on a couple more runs in each game and get the win, and you get good starting pitching in back-to-back days. You know, this starting rotation is pretty darn strong, and you have to feel good about what this roster looks like right now. I know Vinny Bianchi will be lost big time when he departs on Friday, but to have this starting group of Daly, Richardson, Whitehead, Christo, and Downer, is really, really good, especially from what you've seen out of yesterday's starter in Jugiak and today's starter in Hernandez with the Bucs.
That's right. Matsu capitalized on some shaky performances these last 2 days, but I think the pitching staff also showed something promising for Matsu. Will Rizzo only threw 8 pitches, so that means he's fresh, and he's got his confidence back with a scoreless outing. Matsu wins 13-5. That 9-run second inning carried them. Alex Vergara had that big grand slam, and that was just one of the many highlights in this big 13-5 win for Matsu. That's Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook saying thank you and good night after a huge win in the Matsu Valley.